1, 2, 3, 4.
We're live.
We're live, baby. Dude, there's a lot of trucks going by today. What the fuck?
There was a ton last night. I was driving. I noticed like a whole parade of Mack trucks going towards Tuckahoe.
There's been one that almost ran me off the road the other day too. That was fucking awesome. That blind corner right there by Lavari's, they just don't stop.
They just hum it. They don't yield.
They don't. They just fucking are like, nope, sending it. Like,
That's a risky one.
I don't know. It's like, are you sure you're supposed to send it right there?
I'm like overly cautious there because sometimes in Tina's car, it's kind of hard to see out of the blind spot because we have baby screens up on the windows. So then I'm like hanging my head out the window, like triple checking because that could be a hairy fucking corner. And then sometimes you'll have kids or adults riding e-bikes around that fucking shoulder, and it's like,
get fucked.
it's a little murky over there.
Why do they let you ride e-bikes on the shoulder? That like, it's been getting on my nerves. Like those kids
Haven't we talked about this at length on here?
I don't know.
I think recently it was in one of my notes where I said you should have to have a moped license to ride these things because it's a fucking moped. It's got pedals. It's got an electric motor, but they go
like
faster.
30,
they go 35. Like
they're
that's a
not slow.
moped, dude. Like I don't see anything wrong with it if like. It should just be treated like a moped. Like you should have to do the gay little fucking course. Like you should have to do the shit I had to do to get a motorcycle license. You have to fucking go do a written test. You have to do a fucking, I don't know, a riding test. I don't know what you would technically call it, but
like a road course or whatever the fuck it is.
I fucked it up, but they still passed me. I passed everything with flying colors. One of the tests is
Pass it with flying carpets.
pretty nuts. Is they have you go like 50 miles an hour and then just slam on the brakes and there's like sand in the parking lot. And I was doing like a skid mark, like a bicycle. The back end was just fishtailing. I was like, whoa!
You should have burned it out.
You have to lock it down before like this 10 or 15 foot like line. So they're like, hit the brakes here and you got to shut it down before it's like 10 or 20 yards or something. I don't know.
No,
but I nailed all of them. And then you have to do a slalom and like. On my dirt bike, super easy. And my uncle even told me that. R.I.P. Uncle Buck. He was like, you should do the fucking test on your dirt bike. But I didn't have it licensed yet or anything like that. I didn't have a plate on it, so I couldn't. But on the big bike, they're only like 5 feet apart, and it's just really awkward. I thought it would be easy, and I went up to it and just bombed it like 5 times.
Damn.
But the guy was cool, and like we talked about, how long I'd been riding. I'd been riding that motorcycle for like 3 months before he ever took the test. Like I don't know, but he was super cool. And then I was like annoyed that I bombed on that part. So like he actually stuck around. Like he passed me. He was like, "Don't worry about it." And then he stuck around with me afterwards for like 15 minutes, like showing me how to get through it. And then like I actually did it. And he was like, "Yeah, you're good, man." Like. So, shout out to that guy. I forget his name, but...
like, I know that what you do normally... Like, because I watched when we were in Germany, I watched them giving people at the fucking Coliseum or whatever. That's, like, where they have, like, the fucking road course. It's, like, some circuit that's, like... I keep my word of the day, fucking circuit.
Word of the fucking year.
But, yeah, like, no, it is. It's, like, an actual, like NASCAR track it's, like, a pretty famous one from what I understand in Nuremberg.
It's an oval track?
It's an oval track in Nuremberg, and they race, like... They race sports cars there. It's big enough for sports cars, but it is a tight track for cars. So when it was like not being used for that, they were giving motorcycle.
They have the Nuremberg time trials there.
Yes, that's
NASCAR or Nazi. Why not both? Joe figured a way to fucking...
Yeah, there we go. We're fucking working it back in.
The circuits in Germany
they're closed.
Hitler raced Mercedes-Benz at
Volkswagen
Nuremberg 500.
It's the Volkswagen race. What do they name the races after? Like whoever sponsored it?
The Hamburger 400.
Yes, the Hamburger. The Brutzeit 300. Just throw bread at whoever wins. But yeah, like I was making a crack about how like the guy gets like they have a guy that shows up to give the exam on a motorcycle, and I guess he gave like a little tutorial on like, this is what the obstacles are, this is how you do it, just do what I did.
It's usually like a tight turn or like one or two tight turns, and then the slalom thing. And then
it was
hard braking.
It was like they were doing the slalom thing, and the guy went through it first. Then he parks his bike, gets off it, pulls out the clipboard, is like, all right, now you go. And I was like laughing because I'm like, it's not like a regular driving test where you have the person in the car with you. It would just be fucking hilarious. The guy just hops on the back.
I'm riding backpack, motherfucker.
Bitching it up. And you gotta like the leans the
He
wrong
puts on
way.
like a skimpy outfit, tramp stamp.
He's got a short skirt with his dick hanging out. You watch that
I
chick?
would keep failing and just keep going back.
Just because you like.
This guy drags his cock across my back.
God, it's good. He's got
the
good
best.
wind resistance. I can slow down faster. Have you seen that chick in Chicago? She's got like the helmet that has little devil horns on it. And she wears like a really short skirt while she's like in full tuck.
There's a bunch.
Oh, okay.
There's not a bunch of those per se. But there's some sport bike thoughts, but I thought you were gonna say like the people who wear like the character like helmets, like they have like, you know,
there's
a bunch of different ones. They're just basically helmet covers that go over your helmet.
She's got one that's like devil ears, like built. I guess they're helmet covers or whatever, but they're like built into the helmet. And she's like got like she's like
A bunch of following on social media,
like
and
a
stuff.
couple 100,000 subs to her YouTube channel, and it's like, you know, so and so, like it's like Sarah the Demon,
Sexy sport bike rider.
yeah, it's like Sarah the Demon or something like that.
Now I
Speed
do
Demon.
follow Jixerbra, the gnarliest fucker
Is that the
on the
guy
internet.
that's like arrested or he's like got like a warrant?
He's wanted in
Yeah.
Colorado, but he lives in Texas, and he's remained anonymous. Like even when he posts like videos of him just talking at home, he puts the helmet on, just so it's just like, and not that he has many of those. Most of his videos are him just like lane
Cruising.
splitting, doing a
Yeah.
$190. He'll be like, GPS says an hour to go from Dallas to Fort Worth or whatever the fuck. He's like, I'm gonna get there in 17 minutes. he just does like 195 down the
Nice.
highway in traffic, just like ripping the shoulder and shit. Like absolute savage. His videos make my hands sweat. I actually bought a shirt of his.
Sweet.
Jixerbra is the man. I don't know about the sexy devil horns lady.
It's just there's like one where she's got the 360-degree camera, and normally she puts it so that the camera's facing her, and you can see like
Those are cool.
who she's interacting with. But yeah, there was one where she had it on the back, and it was facing her back, so you could see where she was going. Wearing like a short ass skirt, and it's just like
Road rash
fluttering.
can be gnarly. A lot of those dudes
Yeah.
don't wear gear though. Jixerbra wears jeans, a t-shirt, and like Vans, and just goes and does like NASCAR speeds down the
Damn,
highway.
Jesus Christ.
And he's just like, you know, I'm gonna be fucked if I crash. So like, why am I gonna wear gear? Which I mean,
To be fair,
fair enough, I guess. Like, why even wear a helmet then? Like, fuck it. But
why are we doing this naked?
he just rides without a plate. He's one of those dudes. Like,
Yeah, I learned about that the other day. That there's
There was
people that
one
flip
in,
them up, and then there's people that just don't have them.
yeah, no plate.
Yeah, no plates.
There was a guy in Delaware by the racetrack, and he had no plate. And I was like looking for it. Like, is it folded up or just
Nah.
no plate? And there was like cops all over the place directing traffic. Like at every intersection, there was a cop car just sitting there with its lights on and shit. And he was just cruising. And the cop that was standing there in the median like stared right at him, just like, what am I gonna do? There's
We're not gonna pull him over.
50,000 cars trying to leave the racetrack.
And on
right
top
now.
of that, he's got the one
He's
vehicle
out.
that can like fucking
Gone.
negotiate.
They can
it.
outrun helicopters.
Oh yeah.
Apparently helicopters can only do like 135 or something stupid like that.
It's-
Like people
yeah.
are outrunning them in like Hellcats doing like 150, and they're like,
Yeah.
it's a big problem in New York City. There's some dude. It's like, what the fuck is it? It's something swimming or something or floating. I forget. He was on like Vice.
Okay.
and he's got a huge social media following. He had some video where he does like 100-mile-an-hour burnout through Times Square at fucking like 3 a.m. when there's not that many people around. Like,
Nice.
he just had he like rents sports cars and then just like
Destroys
eggs
them.
on no eggs on the cops for fun, and then just like outruns them and then posts it all on social media.
Sweet.
Seems like a
Seems like a cool guy.
yeah. I forget. His
lit.
name is escaping me right now. It's he fucking escaped.
Fucking out of the way.
It's something like swim gang or something like that, and they call it like, oh, we're swimming through traffic, and like doing it on the bike is fucking nuts because like you're dead if anything happens. But these guys are like making those maneuvers in a car, like they're lane splitting and just like they're just bullying people kind of out of the way too. Like they'll just there's two cars and they just pull up and just like force them both to move. Like I don't know, it's retarded, but it's pretty cool. I would never want to ride along.
No, fuck that.
Like,
Did you see
the guy
Andrew-
was freaking out. The Vice reporter was like, "Dude, slow down! What the fuck?" And he's doing like 180 through traffic.
Did you see the Andrew Callahan with the Kia Boys? Because that's the only car shit that's been in my shit is the Kia Boys in Connecticut right now.
I want to say that might be the same guy who interviewed.
That wasn't Vice then. That was Andrew Callahan.
I'm not positive.
Okay, because he went to Connecticut and he found the Kia Boy because I guess it's just like much to that thing sugar. It's like you could use some technology to like hack into cars, but then like with Kias
And
or whatever,
Kias are the most vulnerable.
It's like,
Isn't
yeah,
it Kias and Hyundais?
It's Kias and Hyundais. It's
Hyundais.
Korea cars, but yeah, they don't have rolling lock codes, so it's real easy to not only just unlock the car from like. Good job, stupid. It's like very easy to just like roll around with like a dealer key and like you can like get into cars that way. But also there's like this trick where you take I forget what it was, like a screwdriver or like a USB cord or something like, and wrap it with like a gum wrapper, and that will start the ignition for whatever fucking reason.
That's fucking nuts. Yeah,
It
I've heard
is,
they're really stealable, and we've been kicking around the idea of getting like a.
Stealing a Kia. You and Tina, you're gonna start chopping Kias. You guys are the Kia trap. It's the Kia. Yo, South Jersey
Kia
Beach.
gang, dude.
Kia gang.
That is, you might be onto something.
No,
there.
don't be onto something.
No, we were talking about getting like an SUV or a minivan, like trading in one of our cars. What do we do?
Yeah.
And I'm team minivan. She wants like an SUV, and like I don't want to spend $80,000 on a Chevy Suburban or whatever. You know, I think a minivan suits our needs just as well for not as much money. But then we're talking about mid-size SUVs, like maybe a CRV with a third row or a Toyota Highlander with a third row seating. Blah blah blah. So we're just kind of spitballing ideas, and she mentions the Kia Telluride or whatever, and I'm just like,
no, that's gonna get stolen.
It's gone, dude.
If you take that thing to
Have
Atlanta
you
City
seen our
once-
neighbors? They own stock in fucking Reynolds Wrap tinfoil, cuz like
Dude, they're on. That's literally they're keeping Reynolds in business.
they're massive shareholders.
Yeah,
Them and Purdue Pharma.
nice. The Kia Boys one, because I talked I think it was like 2 episodes ago about that Andrew Callahan guy, how much I like him and his journalistic shit, because he's good. He's on it. He doesn't make the story about himself. He just goes and immerses himself in whatever. But yeah, same thing. He was in the backseat with the Kia Boys.
As they're stealing
As
one?
they're stealing
Why
a
would
car.
he do that? Aren't you an accessory at that point?
Yeah, well, so with journalism, I think that you can claim plausible deniability that you might be capturing,
Like the guys who interview narcos and stuff like that.
yeah, like you're capturing a crime, but you're not participating. You're just observing, and it's like no different than if you were to like be witnessing a crime on the street and pulling out your phone and just like that. You're not an accessory. But yeah, this guy's like in the car.
kind of are.
No, he absolutely is. Like
You're
he's
not stopping it.
I'm not
You're
saying-
just like
yeah.
neutral party. Like,
yeah,
basically.
well, you're not doing anything to prevent it, but you're also not doing anything. But you could also turn it around and say like he's encouraging them a little bit by having the camera there. But it's like at the end of the day, these kids are just like they're 14, 15-year-old kids that are going to be doing 14-year-old, 15-year-old kid dumb shit
just want to
anyway.
do hood rat stuff with my friends.
Exactly, yeah.
Me and my buddies might have stolen some beer from a parent's fridge or smoked some pot at 14 or 15. We weren't out committing Grand Theft Auto.
That's just it. You weren't fucking
Never even entered our
And then
fucking mind.
The one dude's name or something like that is like Swervy or something like that, because he just goes like this down the road like 80, goes like and just like jams the wheel.
That's how I totaled my first car
Yeah.
2 weeks into having my license.
like
I did it on an icy road.
Yeah.
I was doing a little drift action.
yeah.
And I ended up in some lady's front yard.
He told the cops you were going like way faster than it was.
45 and a 20 or something. 45 and a 15. Like, how fast are you going? And I'm like, I just came off Shore Road. That was a 45. And I was 17, just started driving. I was a complete dumbass. I'm in a neighborhood, so it was probably 25 at most. And I was just like, just say you're doing the speed limit. And I was like, 45. He was like, what? And just fucking
Nice.
spazzed on me. And I was like, I don't know.
I was looking at the snow.
Yeah. I was purposely trying to be Gymkhana and fucking
Nice. You're trying to. What's the guy's
had
name?
a fatal snowmobile accident.
Yeah. What was that dude's name? Dan.
Ken Block.
Ken Block. Thank you.
R.I.P.
Yeah. I thought he was gonna go with a car, not a fucking
Leisurely
sled.
snowmobile accident.
Leisurely. I don't know. Didn't he get like?
If you're
crushed
not
with-
scared, you're not going fast enough. GG, bud.
Oh, fucking A. There's that movie.
It's kind of like one of those things. I don't feel that bad.
No,
Is that fucked
not
up?
one- no, I genuinely don't feel bad when they're like I like Travis Pastrana as a person. I think he is a very charming
him?
person. Not like
Travi?
I haven't met him, but no, like I mean, as a person, he seems like very interesting and he's very cool, very family oriented too, which I always thought was cool about like Thrillbillies and Nitro Circus and everything that he had like his cousins and everybody.
Nitro Circus. Is my mic on?
No,
I feel like I'm not hearing myself. Or
no, you're
something.
good. You're on. I can hear you.
Are we loud? Oh, okay. It's like only coming through in the left headphone. Maybe this one died.
Maybe.
It's a cheap Dollar General set. My
Shoved
bad.
it on my ass. I've been listening to all of my podcasts through my ass with your headphones.
I just thought you like did the little brother move where you just turned off my mic. Like, yeah, you're on, bud. That's what it sounded like before. That's weird. Yeah, this one must have died or something. That happens all the time with these cheap ass headphones.
I was gonna say it also might just be like I don't have it in the right fucking depth or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, regardless, but I always liked Travis Pastrana for that exact thing that he always had his family around. His family was like the exact ilk of him, just not.
You know,
as
he ran the
polished.
Daytona 500 last year.
No
like
shit.
the one-off. He aspired in NASCAR around, I think, a little after his rally car era, like in somewhere in that time where he was kind of exploring like traditional motorsports, not doing like triple backflips on dirt bikes.
Pretty good at that,
He ran, I think, a few years in the Busch series, and then he had. I watched some YouTube videos, like, you know, a synopsis of his NASCAR career, but he ran a few years and had some, you know, one-off starts here and there, and then he did a one-off start in the fucking Daytona 500 last year, survives the carnage, and I think finished 10th or 11th. Fucking tremendous run.
Oh, fuck. That
I
one.
think it was 11th. I think
That's
he was
still-
like, in the interview, he was like, I would love to have top 10. But,
Where'd
you know,
Spin House finish? In the
he
wall.
won.
You're kidding me.
I swear to God.
Oh
he
my
won.
god,
Ricky
dude,
Stenhouse
shout out
Sr.
Stenhouse.
won the 2023
Hell
Daytona
yeah.
500.
No wonder it was a wreck out. Like he just caused it, he did the thing, shot the gap again.
Nah,
Good for
it was
him.
kind of when I watched it back, because I didn't watch it live. I hadn't started watching NASCAR again yet, but I watched it back a few months later, and like it was one of those ones where there's a caution on the last lap, so it kind of determines the winner on like when NASCAR hit the button. It's one of those like judgment call things or something. It's like I kind of thought Joey Logano won, but like they're like, nope, Ricky Stenhouse won, and like he's just like, yeah, fucking yeah. I hate those finishes under like it all. Who won is all determined by when the official pressed the caution button on the sequence, and it's just like, let's go old school. Let him run it back to the line, boys. That's fucking. People like died doing that, but like
Nice.
before caution came out, it was like it's live until you get back to the finish line. So that's pretty cool.
They should start like from a dead stop too. Like that would be really funny. I don't know why. Like, I have all these ideas.
Don't they do that in like
I have no idea.
F1 or I know like in Mario Kart, like it has everyone lined up on this weird grid, and it's just like
Yeah.
go.
I think
I think F1 they're starting this grid and they pull out one by one.
I know motocross when they like the shit Shep does, but like the stuff that's like FMX or whatever, where it's like a big like out like a dirt circuit, but inside the part of it is like the infield is like where you start from, and then it goes out to the first turn, and then they close it, and then the first turn is now just the last. It connects the last turn to the first turn. I don't know if that's like to the line or whatever, but I do know that's how they like gauge the whole shot usually. Not entirely sure. I know that term. I do know that. I want to shoot them holes.
I'm honestly not too familiar with like motocross racing or
It's
like,
what
dirt
I've
bike
seen.
racing.
It's what I've seen the most of, which it's not much, but it is what I
Back
have.
in the day, I remember watching it on like ESPN2 or whatever. You know, they'd have the.
Do you remember the Outdoor Life Network had like a whole? They had like a whole stadium series. I think it was like for 2 years. So like every time they weren't showing hockey, like on like Thursdays or Friday nights, it was like
Supercross
it was
or whatever.
Supercross or FMX or not FMX. The AMA I think was the one that was just in Philly.
Yeah,
but
it's good stuff.
it's great. It's an entertaining.
Like I know what a
yeah.
whole shot is, but when it comes to actually knowing anything about like and being able to do it, like I feel
Yeah.
like I could drive not a NASCAR or a late model, but if you put me in a go-kart, I feel like I could handle my own. But like racing on a dirt bike is gnarly, dude. And I ride. I can like we went trail riding with the Shepherds one time. I did my best to keep up, but like they're on a different level, man. Like I have the capacity to like fart around in the pit. I don't have the capacity to be fucking on a racetrack. Like I don't like they're just going full clip into like massive berms and just like trusting that it's gonna stick and like that you're gonna turn. It's like I don't have the confidence to do that. Like I just putt around the bottom of the fucking berm. Like I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna fall.
This is one of my favorite videos of all time. This is
Is there any way to do like overlay it?
I
in
can.
the-
Yeah. So
This is something I would do better at than like actual stadium racing. That's hard, dude. That's hard. That shit is hard to ride on. Yeah, that would be really hard. I would roll backwards down that hill. That big fucking log, I'd have trouble on those ones. I'm going around. I'll take the time penalty. Fuck this shit.
They just fall so easily.
Me on
It's
a
just
ch-
nowhere.
It's
nowhere.
not easily. It's
I
so
know
hard.
I know it's not easy, but like it's just
dude.
holy shit. This is
Like
the
a
professional.
15-foot hill. You know what I really like? Which it's not the traditional motocross racing. They do like this drag race style where it's like 7 jumps and it'll just be like Travis Pastrana lined up against, John Smith, and they do like this drag race
But it's
style.
like in tandem, but like a straight
it
shot.
looks really cool.
Nice.
Dude. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
I think I have. I mean, not like a full event.
and
of
you'll
it,
like
but-
Pastrana will be back, and all of a sudden he just hits like a fucking giant. Like it does like a lot of back and forth racing. Where you think one guy's gonna take it, and then he just fucking
keeps it close.
sends her fucking over the top, and like I don't know.
I forget what the league is called, but they have that for downhill snowboarding. It's like a slalom style league. I think it's called like slope style or something like that, which is easy.
Like Johnny Tsunami fucking
Yes,
style racing.
But yeah, it's like you have a direct, like they do it on skates too, like the same course they use where it's like on ice skates. And they
You ever
go,
seen that shit?
Yeah, it's
That
great.
fucking shit.
That looks gnarly. That's all
dude.
frozen. You're falling
As
and
a
you're gonna
very-
like crack a bone.
As a very average recreational hockey player, that scares me. to no
Getting
fucking
like
end, dude.
60 feet of air on a
Ice
fucking
skates.
ice skate.
It hurts.
Oh my god!
When you land on
yeah.
ice, just going to public skate and you're in jeans and a Flyers jersey and you land on your knee.
Fuck
you know
yeah,
how
dude.
fucking bad that
Oh,
shit
yeah.
is, dude. I mean, I know they're wearing like full gear, which
You go for a hockey stop and your blades are a little too dull to actually fucking
No,
like
they probably
it just-
samurai swords on their
Well,
fucking
no,
feet.
I mean like when I'm at open hockey and
Yeah.
I like forget that it's like I haven't sharpened these skates in
Since
19
2004.
years. Yeah.
Since the last
Since
boardwalk
the
call.
last boardwalk
public
police
skate
public
after the
skate.
game.
Hell yeah, that like literally was probably the last time they
The
sharpened my skates.
CCMs you got at like Kmart or something.
Nah, they're Boers. The Canadian, there's like the Canadian hockey team edition Bowers that are like
Sweet.
Boers or whatever the fuck they call
Boer.
them. But yeah, I think that's what they call them, Boers. But it's Bauer, but it's Boer.
I just have like standard Bauer,
Yeah.
Vapor or whatever, Vapor 40s, dude.
but
I'm
the
aging myself with that statement.
right, dude.
That skate's from like 2010. They were the shit in
I
2010.
had
bro.
Warriors, man.
I had a Warrior Dolomite, the neon yellow one. They're like original fucking big fucking popular stick. That thing was the shit.
Yeah, they're great
I
sticks.
got that. It was originally like 250 or 200, and I got it like 5 years. It was just sitting in the pro shop for like 5 years because it had a weird curve, and it was on sale for like $100.
Like your dick.
My mom grabbed it for me. That was my favorite stick. Yes. A lot of Peyronie's commercials in NASCAR. So, what's going on with the bend down there, fellas? Isn't that the worst?
It's the stupidest.
It'll
ad.
come on when we're at like Tina's parents' house.
Yeah.
It's just like me and my in-laws, and they're just like, "Do you have a bent penis?"
Yes. Stop mentioning it. Stop bringing this up. While
I'm just like, I hate these targeted ads. They're on the fucking TV now.
He's just like completely out yourself. Well, I like that. Just put a pin in the down at the snowboard one. They have one at Copper that we used to break into. You weren't supposed to do it unless they were time. It was like a time trial thing. I don't think it was like for the Olympics or whatever, but they did have the station where you go, you check in. The guy goes, "All right, we're gonna give you red light, yellow light, green light, like a drag race or whatever. First is your stop. The second is like the clock sets to 0. Yellow is get ready, and then green is the gate drops, and then you go down. You're not like one-on-one. It's like you and like 3 other people usually, or maybe like 5 other people. So it's like competitive.
It's like SSX tricky, dude.
Yeah, and you kind of have like a different approach to every jump. Like some of them will launch you higher, some of them will like knuckle and go straight, so you can pick up more speed. But there is a strategy.
It's the same as that dirt biking thing, because sometimes they'll sell it short just to like keep the momentum going into the next one,
like
versus
into a rhythm.
airing it out. Yeah.
Like into like the ripples.
It's
or whatever.
interesting.
It's a very interesting sport because it is a little bit more psychology of the riders. And I
remember seeing that now that you mention it back in the day.
I think for a while it was like an X Games sport, not
Yeah,
an Olympic sport, but
it
I do
was.
believe it was an X Games sport.
Yes.
because they have them.
It was one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, it's a great. It's
I
very
just remember
entertaining to
seeing
see
them like
live.
lining up in the gate up on like the top of a fucking mountain.
Sean White, no, not him. Someone that I should know. It's a snowboarder that I should know off the top of my head. Somebody though, did that and ended up fucking, I think, completely separating their jawbone from their skull. hole because they slammed so hard on television that they were just like cut the cameras, and it was like, oh yeah, that guy's head just popped.
Was that in that event?
Yeah, it was like 2005, 2006.
That happened to someone. I don't remember what the specific injury was. Remember the mega pipe? Someone got fucked up on that.
Oh, yeah.
Just like, and we're going to commercial break because Danny Way, the snowboarder, is dead. I know he's a skateboarder, but I just couldn't think of that.
Danny Way did fall, I think, like 35 feet off a super pipe one time, like directly to flat. Oh, no, it was Bob Burnquist. It was Bob Burnquist. Bob Burnquist.
That shit is...
Hey, come on, get down.
Super pipes are not... Regular half pipes are gnarly. Like,
yeah. They're not fun because you have to... It's all momentum.
The thing that always...
Come here.
As like a filthy casual skateboard fan, the thing that always gets me is the mega ramp.
Yeah.
Like that's just
with vert and like it's
not even vert. I'm saying like the one where it's like a fucking
giant
up
roll
here and they drop down like 20 stories and then they hit this 50-foot gap or whatever into this like another massive ramp and they're just like, I'm gonna do a fucking tray flip over this mega ramp.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? They're like doing legit tricks over it.
That there is one Bob Burnquist built down in
Brazil.
Sao Paulo, I believe, or what? Yeah, and it is. It's like for a while it was the biggest one in the world or something. The pipe was like 80 feet or something. Like
dude.
It puts you up over 120 feet in the air,
Just
which is
flying through the air
you're
with a skateboard.
12 stories above the ground on a piece of wood.
I fucking
with wheels.
get hurt when I like roll my ankle just like walking around my house. Like, imagine being 120 feet in the air holding onto a skateboard just like
Superman.
Like I would die. Like
Jay hurt himself walking on the beach a year ago. And I'm
we
like,
both hurt ourselves
I
walking.
opened a door yesterday into my face and gave myself a concussion. We're not cut out for
I was
extreme
carrying my
sports.
kid on like one of those castle things at a playground, and they have like the 3 different towers with the pointy fucking roof. And I didn't duck going into it. I was going upstairs, and I literally just like jammed my fucking head how you would jam your finger playing basketball. Like it was just like it compressed my neck. And like I like saw star like it like
Oh yeah.
it felt like I got fucking knockout gamed. Like I didn't see this coming at all, and all of a sudden it was just like boom, like when you just fucking walk right into something, dude.
Yeah.
Holy shit! And then I fucking bobbled the kid, and he smacked his head on a bar, and then all the there's
Concussions for
it's
everybody.
a church event. There's like 50 people there.
Just
Everyone's
yelling,
staring at me. Me and Vincent are crying.
Calling him the
I'm
N-word.
shouting the N-word.
You mother.
The thing is, it wasn't even his fault.
No,
it was literally just
user error.
me
Like-
being tall, running around in the playground meant for 2 to fucking 8-year-olds.
Okay, I have one for that. But before the Ocean City one, remember when it used to be wood and it had those
best.
Like, yeah. So
And there was like this under thing where it was like youth homeless camps. Remember, people would take you to like the underside and be like, "We're gonna go eat cigarette butts down here." So there was always some fucking weird kids hanging out.
There
on
was
the
a-
fucking forbidden side.
there's a kid, and I'm not gonna say his name because he might be a lawyer now. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't talked to him in a while, but
Blonde hair.
No, not him.
Okay.
He played baseball for Ocean City. He was an Ocean City kid, but my mom knew him or knew his parents through legal stuff. So
Right on.
anyway, yeah. So we played baseball, and we used to like afterwards we would go. So his thing used to be climbing up all the way to the tippy top of those, like on the outside of those spire things, and sitting because you can like. If you remember the old ones, it was like there wasn't really much room up there for you to like sit, but you could like back yourself up and be basically on top of it. He would sit up there and pull
On
his,
top of what were they again?
they were like the castle spike things, but they were like these like they were like wooden rectangles that had like a point at the top, and the point was kind of like the way like the Washington Monument is, where it's like
Yeah.
just like a little. So he would sit up there, and then there was like a little gap, and he would pull his pants down and pee, so that the pee would run off the roof and like onto whoever was like underneath him. So you would just be like seeing kids like running around having a great time, and then they would just like be like all wet down their back because this kid is like pissing all over the fuck.
That's not nice.
It wasn't nice. It was like if I saw that today, I'd be like, "Yeah, what the fuck?" But like,
Fucking scumbag
in the
move, dude.
like 8 years old in the moment, that was the funniest thing. It's still funny right now. I'm still laughing about it because
No, I'm just picturing my kid getting pissed on,
Yeah,
and me
that's-
having to like punch a 10-year-old in the head,
well, that would actually be fun.
choke slam him like Kane off the side of a fucking jungle gym.
Just pick him up by an ankle, throw. him.
Dong.
Yeah.
Fucking
But-
that's Undertaker. My bad.
No, whatever. I don't. We
The
don't
Gong.
watch wrestling. Like,
I used to.
I mean, yeah, when you're like 11, it's not like Sam
Yeah.
Roberts where it can or Dan Soder where you're wearing fucking wrestling.
I
belts.
loved it when I was a little kid, and then I hit a second wind
Second
of it
wind?
in from about 5th to like 7th grade. I was a big John Cena fan. Like as a wigger myself, John Cena was
Well, as a
freaking cool.
retard.
It's basic thugonomics.
If you ever see him, if you ever see John Cena coming, you better run the other way. That guy's the angel of death.
Why?
Shane's bit.
Duh.
A lot of ladies here. Yeah. What do you think John Cena's up to? What?
Yeah, I might have Down syndrome,
It's
but
okay.
John Cena ruled.
John Cena did rule.
He had a fucking promising rap career as well, dude.
I do remember that.
Have you heard?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Basic Thugonomics, dude. That should be the intro song of the week. No, not that one.
That one's good.
Basic Thugonomics is like his trap banger.
Oh,
It's
I didn't know that.
I don't think he's really from the hood. It's just like
No,
very.
he's an actor.
It's like very out of pocket.
He was like he was a Marine, I think, right? Like he was a
I don't even know.
ex-military
I
or
think
something.
he played one in a movie with like Stone Cold or something.
I just know
the
from that-
Marine.
A prank call where they keep calling that lady. They're like, "Do you support the troops?" Of course, I support the troops. Then you should
John
come support.
Cena.
Fuck you!
That's the
That lady,
best.
that
Those
lady
are the
gets
best.
so mad.
There is something to be said though about liking wrestling past a certain age. I don't know.
It's still real to me, damn it.
I mean, I guess I don't. I'm retarded. I like NASCAR. I get most people probably
That's
think
an
it's fucking
actual
dumb.
sport, though. Like, it's competitive.
They're not faking it. Like it's like the same. To me, liking NASCAR is akin to just like liking the Phillies or liking like it's just like
Yeah.
It's different than stick and ball sports, but it's not entertainment. Like it is entertainment, but you know what I'm saying.
It's the fastest sport on earth. I mean, like, or at
It's
least
motorsports. It's different
yeah.
than I just meant in the fact that they're not faking the fun. Like it's
Yeah.
not scripted. Maybe. I mean, who knows?
Hendrick, we're looking at you.
Yes. No. There's always a conspiracy about like the NFL having a script and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like
have you seen that one dude's channel that's like he just makes shorts that's like he intersplices himself into
they say it about NASCAR
Yeah,
too. They'll be
really?
like,
Okay.
there was a caution at the end of the race that like benefits Hendrick, and everyone's like, oh, the fucking the
That
Hendrick
one-
fucking hometown bounce.
the DD12 or whatever that stream when
the chat going nuts,
yeah, dude, the
dude.
chat was going fucking just like fuck Hendrick, fucking
Hell
like,
yeah.
Bubba Wallace,
Those are my
N-word,
people.
like it's great. Like, I liked it. I enjoyed that. There's probably some Arab dude just losing his fucking mind over there because he's like hosting this. He's like, well, I do all these
He's
races.
not. It's
He's
I think
making
it's
money?
someone.
Oh.
I think it's someone on this side. I don't think it's an Arab dude. I think they
it's just hosted over
I think
there.
he VPNs the fucking Abu Dhabi stream
Keep doing what you're doing, cuz you're doing
because
great.
he has the FS1 stream too. But I always just pick the international just to avoid the commercials. That's basically the only perk to it. That's 30.
Perk 30 to it. That was a great picture you sent me. I don't know if we can talk on that, but that kid's album cover or whatever. That's funny. I don't know who that is. You don't have to say
Yeah.
names. You don't have to say names. Or whatever.
I'm not like buddies with him or anything, but yeah, I don't.
Okay.
It was a local kid. He's got to know about the picture. It was him smoking a fucking pill off tinfoil, and like someone photoshopped it into like
An album cover. Look, it's a good. I thought it might have been his actual albums.
No.
No, just him having some fucking
No.
tinfoil fun.
I have a story about him, but I don't want to like.
Yeah, no.
It's kind of like, not that it matters because people probably already know who it is anyway. But fucking, it's not even a good story.
Okay.
So,
Well,
that's all.
So one of the things you said though about like smacking your head and it feels like you got knockout gamed. One of the hardest hits I've ever taken in my head was there was a 12-foot ladder open and I was on a 6-foot ladder, and the guy who was on the 12-foot ladder, I was handing him stuff. That was why I was on the 6-foot ladder, because I couldn't go up the same. I needed to be able to grab stuff off this table and hand it to him in like one. So he would periodically, like if he needed a new bit or something like that, he would just hand his whole drill down, and I guess I wasn't paying attention or moving fast enough for him, and he just goes like that and just drops the fucking drill 4 feet directly onto my like the flat part of my head, and
He did that shit on purpose.
yeah, and it chipped my tooth. That was how hard like the drill like compressed
Especially
my.
when you don't have time to brace yourself, you don't
I didn't
see
even-
it coming. You know what I mean? Like,
and I like legit just like went and sat in the truck, and everybody was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I'm fine." That was fucking bullshit though, and they were like, "No, it happens on job sites." I was like, "No, it doesn't happen on job sites. I'm helping him. He just dropped something deliberately on my fucking head because he's having a fucking bad day or something like that."
you
And
annoyed him somehow, and then
I'm just doing
see,
my
it does
job.
happen sometimes where like the amigos will be throwing shit out of the second
Yeah.
story window, but like usually you get like a
Hey,
watch out below,
Yeah, dropping
something, like-
something, you know. But no, this was
not your fucking you're helpy, you're the helper.
Yeah,
and you're
I'm
fucking
just like
Johnny never dropped a drill on my head from an A-frame ladder. Like
Yeah,
that's just a scumbag move.
It was a very scumbag move, and the guy was just like no apology, no nothing. It was like no look out or anything.
no like drill coming down.
Nothing like that. He just held it out directly over my head and dropped it. Like, I don't think it was a joke, but it was like if it was something lighter and it would have hit my head, it would have been funny. But no, it was like he aimed for my fucking head. And I was like, you're lucky that, like, I didn't say this because I probably would have gotten fired. I was like, guess who's on the taller ladder, motherfucker? Like, it's just, like, I wanted to do that so bad. But, like, I know it's like two wrongs don't make a right. And especially, like, if that guy falls to his death, like, he was older.
So he was up on like a big ladder.
Yeah, he was on a 12 foot. Yeah, I was on the 6 foot. So like he was like about like 3/4 of the way up. I was like straddling it, and there was a table behind me, or not like like I had like one leg.
Doing some sketchy shit.
Yeah, basically like we were repairing the second story of a 3-story. It was like some guy's deck, and we had the first story supporting the second story, and the second story was supporting the third story. So we were removing floor joists that were already sistered in that needed to be replaced, and then like once they were replaced, we would pop the supports out so that it would hold like freely, and that was what we were doing. We were just like removing wood. So it was mostly like I hand him a torque drill, he undoes four screws, hands me a board, I drop the board down to the first floor. If he needs something to go back up there, they need to make an adjustment, angle, speed, square, whatever the fuck you need. That's my job. I'm just handing him shit, basically. Yeah. But yeah, he just straight up just fucking dropped the drill on my head. And I'm like, yo, like, what the fuck, dude?
Did he think it was going to land on the ground?
I don't know why he would drop it in the first place.
Because that's like,
yeah, it was just...
You don't want to fuck up your drill.
Like, it wasn't like, that's just it. It was like company equipment, too. So it was like a generally, like, we don't care.
Who did it? Was it fucking the Geeses?
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't Randy. Like if it was Randy, I would have fucking said that. Yeah. Like that guy's out of his fucking mind. But no, this was one of the old heads that worked there. It wasn't the main old head. It was his buddy that they normally.
Was this the same job where you guys were like bringing a fridge up onto like a second story balcony or something with like ropes or something sketchy as fuck?
Instead of hiring a crane crew to put a Sub-Zero fridge, which weighs like about 1,200 pounds, onto a second story. They decided that they were going to just put it on a
pump jack.
It was like a crank jack, which only goes up 10 feet. The fucking porch is like 14. So even with it fully up in the air, fully extended, which you're not supposed to do.
How was it secured on the?
With ropes, like just like tied down, and very very
people standing under.
Yeah, Mexicans standing under it, going, "It's going to fall." It's like, yes, I know, Miguel.
The fridge.
The fridge is going to fall, and then like. It's windy too, so they're like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why this turned into a job site, Joey. Just that concussion.
I had one story where I did construction for almost 2 years, and I was a helper myself. I might have told it on here, but the most scared I've ever been in a job, and most of my jobs are like bitch work. I've been a dishwasher, a trash man, a fucking janitor at ShopRite. It's nothing really too scary, but the one time I've ever been scared at work was they fucked up on a house where it was. It's supposed to be the first floor isn't really the first floor. It's like a traditional, like this would be the first floor in Ocean City. You know what I mean? Like they use that ground floor as like the garage because of the water levels or whatever. They have to, whatever. Your first floor is your fucking 10 feet up. Well, that first floor was like a foot too low or something. So it wasn't passing inspection. So they had to lift the whole house up and slide a second beam under the first beam and then like drop it back down. So it would technically, which it was like, very sketchy, and then like they hid the fucking like they like doctored it up so where you couldn't see the second beam, so it was like the beam's only this wide and like this tall, like they're fucking huge, but
it's like one of those.
It's now the whole house is sitting on a one double floor. Height. No, it's on two now, and they just kind of like put this nail thing around it and nailed it together into one.
No, I mean that's
I'm sure it's fine, but like it was like very hush hush and weird, and like my bosses were all freaking out. And, like,
sure.
So they have like a crane or the fucking what's that one? It's not a crane. It's like that. It's like that giant forklift. It's a lull. Yeah. They had that, and they had like ratchet straps or something to tie on the forklift of the lull, and they were just using that to try and pick the house up enough to like give us the foot to like slide those beams in. And like we had it, but like they ended up getting it done. But before that someone had to run the ratchet straps like through these holes that they cut in the floor of the house. So it was just framed. It was just a rough house, and
You're rough housing it.
they had taken the house down like to ground level, but they needed someone to like crawl under it and slide these straps through. And it's literally a fully framed like 3-story fucking house, and it's about this high off my chest. Like I had to like army crawl under it, and I'm supposed to be feeding these straps through. And the guy who's moving it, it shifts and drops down like 4 inches closer. And I crawled out immediately, and I was like, I'll quit right now. Like I'm not
doing that.
And our buddy, the fucking company hero, shout out to Johnny. If you're gonna hire someone to work for your company, this is the man to do it. He's a fucking beast, but he crawled under there with like no questions asked. Like he was just like, well, someone's got to do it. And I was like, I'm not dying for $11 an hour. Like I will quit right now. I was
Make it
terrified.
$12.50.
When it moved and I saw it get closer to me, I was just like,
yeah.
That's like when you're I was like, nope, fuck this.
That's when
like,
your
I'm
life
like yelling
flashes
at
in
people.
front of your
I'm like
eyes, yeah.
yelling at my bosses. I'm like, fuck you, you crawl under there, motherfucker. Because like all these like hard ass like lifer fucking tradesmen that are, because it wasn't just my bosses, it was all the people from the framing company who were like stressing out or whatever. And like their guys were even more rough and tumble than like the regular construction company's bosses or whatever. So they're all like breaking my balls, like, what are you scared? And I'm like, fuck you, you go under them, motherfucker. Like, yeah. So
there was pump jacks that we used on some house in North Cape May. Do you know where Bella Vita, not Vita Bella's, the pizzeria, but Bella Vita
fucking, their biggest rival, dude.
Yeah, dude, I know, right? But yeah, they're.
I've never heard of that. Place,
it's like
actually.
it's like a little like cafe in North Cape May. Anyway, just for geography purposes, it's like right on the same block, just on the adjacent side of the block.
I'll find it on Google Maps in 10 seconds.
Yes.
You're right here.
I was with it.
Bayshore
damn,
Road.
I got the road right. But yeah, he the guy, the same guy that dropped the drill on my head. They had this deal where there was rotted floorboards that were around the foundation of the house. Not like any of the house, like it was structurally sound, but like the floor was like rotting between the spot that like is resting on the foundation. So they had to jack all 4 corners of the house up one by one, which was making the fucking house flex and make that weird like fucking noise.
This thing's gonna snap and pop. Implode on us.
So
dude.
Randy, one of the Mexican guys, and then the old head are all underneath this house, and all you hear is just like, okay, lift, and it's just like just like wood flexing and nails squeaking and stuff. And I'm like, I'm not doing this. I called out for the day. I'm like, I don't feel well. I'm going home. They're like, no, you got to go under there. I was like, I am going fucking home.
I'm going anywhere but under there.
Yeah, and like
you could pay me $100 an hour. That's like it's not. I'm not going under there.
And then my boss patronized
Can't
me.
spend it if I'm fucking dead.
Yeah, exactly. He was like,
it happens like once a year.
You hear about it like once a month.
When
like,
I was
around the knitting circles with those guys, like, oh, he crushed his hand and he's got to get it amputated now, like shit like that. Yeah.
No, like fatal.
Well, I mean,
I worked 2 years, and there like each summer there was like some Mexican in like the villas that fell off a roof. And
it's usually roofers. they are not very good at being high up. Like they're comfortable with it, but they don't land well. They splat pretty easily.
I don't think you're landing well off a 4th story.
There's no way to. There's no Luganusing that. Like you just kind of.
Those guys freak me out. I was watching them.
Yeah, I know they're scary.
Nah, the roofers. There's some. It was right by the Wawa in Ocean City, and I was like eating lunch when I was a trash man, and there was some like roof where it's like literally that, like it's almost straight up and down, like it's, and these guys were just like wearing like New Balance sneakers and just like walking around.
Oh, fuck that.
And they would put like a 2x4 where they're gonna, like they would nail down one 2x4 where they're gonna stand, and they would just stand there, and then they would like, I don't know, like they weren't harnessed in or anything, they were just like kind of just making these little makeshift like step stools out of 2x4s. Like just, I was having a fucking heart attack.
The one house we were doing the same thing. We were putting spray, whatever that shit is. It's like fiberglass that you spray on the exterior of your deck so that it, like if it's like on the beach block, it won't rot the wood.
Yeah,
we were spraying that stuff, which already is fucking miserable to work
horrible.
with. It fucking your mouth.
It's poison.
Your mouth is itchy for like 3 fucking days after that. It's like if you get it anywhere on your skin, it's itchy. But it's like
liquid stuff that they like.
Yeah, and it's like you got a big tube of it, and there's a guy like a HVAC suit with a respirator and shit that's usually dishing it out. Yeah, we didn't get any of that. We just had
like that gray stuff that goes on the decks.
Yeah,
right?
And then like there's like what you spray it, and then it sets, and then you have a guy that comes out with
stuff.
like it's like
that stuff stinks.
Yeah, it smells
That
horrible.
stuff like ruins a job site for like a whole week. Like
it
a whole
ruins
work
your
week.
clothes. It ruins your fucking.
I'm saying like
lungs.
that day
Yeah.
when they're pouring that shit, like the whole fucking house you're working in just smells like cancer.
Yeah, like
literal-
fiberglass, like liquid fiberglass. It's
It just
disgusting.
smells like
yeah.
chemicals. Like it like burns your nostrils and gives you a headache. And like it's just like 4 immigrants just looking miserable. Just
Yeah.
like fucking yeah.
So we
Dude.
were spraying that stuff, and we didn't know that there was someone else that pulled permits to have their roof they were just popping like a few panels, but they had to pull all the shingles off. So we're spraying this stuff, and the wind is blowing down towards that house, which is right next to us. So every time, it's like you don't just spray a little bit of the fiberglass. Like you said, it gets everywhere. It ruins windows.
I've never
and
actually
stuff.
seen the process.
Yeah, it's like so you have like a.
I would always see them mixing up the clear stuff and they like paint it
like,
on or whatever. They like
Nah,
smooth it on.
that's like epoxy. This is like fiberglass.
The
that,
gray
like,
stuff goes on first, and then
Yeah.
I've seen them doing the finished one, but like when they're spraying the main one, they would be like, "Yo, get out of here!"
Yeah, exactly.
like literally, like
yeah, there's like 2 dudes in hazmat suits, but or like usually it's like the dude on the ground is replenishing the fiberglass in there. There's also like you have to kind of like. I've never actually seen what the actual machine looks like or how it gets in there, but there is a hopper that needs to just be both periodically refilled and like scraped and everything. So then you just get like a 40 to 50 foot tube that's just like a PVC tube, like a flex tube.
spray it
just
down.
spray it down, and then like then
they gotta smooth it out or
then-
something.
Well, it sets, and then like once it sets, it doesn't harden right away. So you come back with this other chemical, which is usually what that smell comes from. Like when they're spraying the fiberglass, it just smells like if you peel one of the
Insulation.
fucking it just smells like insulation. Where it's like not like bad, but it does smell.
The clear
kind of-
stuff is
the clear stuff
insane,
is fucking
dude.
disgusting, and it's like super fucking bad for
it's
your.
just an instant headache. For
Yeah.
me. That's not usually a good sign.
So anyway, they were still spraying, and all of the fucking fiberglass is just like blowing downwind towards these guys on the roof, and like they're up there in unison doing the thing where you get like 9 abreast, and they're just
Yeah.
working their way down, popping all the pop.
Oh, no, they're
they're popping
removing the old roof.
popping the shingles, and one of them every now and then would just go like, because they get like a mouthful of fucking fiberglass. You can't see it either; you just feel it, like because it's like clear and it like floats. So like they'll be going and they're all in tandem doing it, and one dude will just like just so
Are they
nasty.
arguing with you guys? Or they busting
No,
balls?
they
or
were
just
they,
like-
they didn't speak English, so I think they might have said something to the Mexicans, but like these guys were up there. They were in and out in 2 hours. We were there for like the entire day, and then the next afternoon doing that shit with the fucking fiberglass. But yeah, one job that I had to actually I butted out of this, and it was on the movies too. We were working on Grand Isle at that insane asylum. And there was a room, and we found out later that they had shot another movie there, so it probably was from that movie. But there was just it looked like somebody had just taken a gun and put it in their mouth and blown their fucking brains out on the wall behind, like you just
painted
did.
the ceiling.
So
like I just did. What?
yeah, like if you were to do that, like everything behind
You'd have to
you.
keep recording here.
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely. just put your sunglasses and your Winston series on the wall for the bloody fucking smudge. But
Rippy bits. Just fucking
yeah.
put it back together.
But yeah, so like there was just this like gigantic blood splatter on the wall, and it was an insane asylum. So my brain automatically goes to like, I don't want to know what the person did or whatever. I'm just not going anywhere near that. And one of the producers comes up, he goes, "Hey, you're that new kid, right? Yeah, you got to clean that wall off." And I told him, I don't care if this is a union job. I don't care if this is a movie set. I don't care what this is. I am not touching that fucking wall. And he's like, "Oh, I'm going to go get your boss." I was like, "Go ahead, get your fucking boss." And then just walked off the set, went outside. My buddy Josh.
Something nice about doing something like that.
Yeah.
Sticking up for yourself. Or
Yeah,
like,
and
I don't care if I lose my dream job.
It wasn't even my dream job. Like at this
But-
point, we were in an insane asylum in the middle of Louisiana. This is like every bit of dream that you think of, like the movie.
Construction wasn't my dream job either, but like I don't care if I lose my gig.
Yeah.
You know.
This was
Fuck
like,
you. I'm not doing that.
This was like, yeah, like just, and then eventually,
That's something that should be done by like a hazardous materials cleanup or whatever. Like they
Yeah.
have like, it's like a forensic cleanup or something. It's called.
yeah, like
Where they clean up like deaths, murders, suicides,
Yeah,
like
hazmat,
crime
like-
scenes.
like serve pro,
Tina
but
was
for
looking into doing
body.
it a few years ago.
looks like fun. They got groupies. Yeah, I want to go
Not
do
interested.
that. I want to do it.
I couldn't.
I would love to. It's like
from what like my dad and stepmom told me about my bio grandpa's fucking house. He died sometime in the summertime, and he sat in there for about 10 days before they found him.
that's a smell.
He was a pedophile, and he had no loved ones.
What the
no one
fuck?
checked in on him. What?
It's just like, you had a pedophile, and nobody checked out on it. Like, whoa, it took a little bit of a hard turn.
That's why none of the family
Yeah.
talked to this guy anymore, because he was a pederast.
What's a pederast, Walter?
I don't know.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie. You ever seen The Big Lebowski?
I have, but I don't know specifics. I don't know nothing.
no,
I
man.
saw it a couple times, but I don't remember. You know, I know like Sopranos lines, and that's about it. You shout out any other movie at me, I'm gonna be like, if you ain't first, you're last. But
I know one. Yeah, you gotta get the papers. Get the papers. You always said it 2 times.
but yeah, regardless of my dead pedo fucking grandpa, R.I.P. William, I think that was his name. I don't even fucking know. They found him because he was like hard of hearing or something, and he used to watch his TV really loud, and then his TV was just on. Like,
Nice.
He would like shut it off when he went to bed or whatever. Yeah. Apparently, it was just on for like a week straight, and then a neighbor didn't even go in the house.
Get out of there.
Just walked up like on the front sidewalk or whatever, and like could immediately smell it. Like,
Yeah.
Apparently, like from where he was sitting, like a bunch of fluids, because it was like. I don't think he had air conditioning or something either. Like he lived in like this shack somewhere in like the fucking Pine Barrens boonies.
shack.
Yeah, dude. It was
Boys Town.
It was like
Fellasville.
fancy little girls actually.
That's cool.
His own daughter actually.
Oh my fucking god, dude.
They're all dead now. So I mean, what are we gonna do?
Okay.
All these people involved are dead.
Dead. As Ron would say.
Yeah. Not him.
Yeah, this wasn't
not
Ron. This wasn't Ron. Ron was cool. We liked Ron. I did enjoy the Phillies spanking the Mets twice, and that was a great fucking. I know you're itching to talk NASCAR, but that was a good game.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
But just long and short, my bio grandpa, they found him, and he was just like a liquidy, like weird, like he had decomposed to such a weird state that there was just like this massive on the couch and like the floor, because like they removed the body obviously, but then like my dad was the next of kin, so
death
like
stain.
he had to go like decide on like what to, like they ended up just demoing the house and selling the land or whatever, because it was like a shithole. He had like rats and like it was just like complete fucking like crack house minus the crack, but just a bunch of little kids.
Little kid cracks.
It's the way they described like how gnarly it was, because there was no body there, but they were there like a few days later, and like there was no medical cleanup. Like it was just like the smell. Like apparently like my dad, my stepmom, and like her brother went or something, and like her brother was like couldn't even. He's like a contractor, and like try and give them some pointers on what they should do with it, and like he couldn't he couldn't even like make it in the house, and he started like throwing up on the front lawn, dude. It's just like this massive puddle of like black body soup, like just like voided his bowels, his skin was like peeling and popping and just liquids.
Nice.
Yeah. So
there was one.
that's a fun story.
There was one I saw
RP pop up
on online when you kill yourself by putting an electrical device into a bathtub.
Doesn't it slow cook you or
slow
some
cooks-
shit?
yeah, so
And
your
then you
body
peel off the bone.
Your body like slowly bloats, and the electrical current separates all the muscle tissue from the. Yeah, nice.
Not what I was going for, but you know,
It works. Yeah, no, that's
no. We're over
cooking.
3, dude.
We're
That's
cooking.
the one I wanted.
But yeah, there's like this picture of like this real fat person, and it just is like their torso is like out of the bathtub, and then everything else is just brown black soup, and apparently like their knees are in the shot, and it's just these two little white protrusions sticking out because like the electro current or whatever separates your and like most of the time it doesn't, the breaker trips or whatever, so like you throw it in there, you're dead, and like just whatever, but it's like that's enough to
crazy-
motivate it. Yeah.
That one always freaks me out. Not so much a toaster. I was never too worried about making toast in the bathroom.
Making
but
sandwiches.
as a child, I was always vehemently warned about the hair dryer.
Hair dryer's a big one, yeah.
And I'm standing in the bathtub. I'm like, what if I want to dry my hair right now? Like, it's just like one of those. You still got your feet in the water. You're a dumb little kid. Yeah. And my grandparents always had an AM/FM radio in the bathroom. It's like, well, I want to listen to some tunes, and I would like set it on the ledge, and then everyone's like spazzing out on me. It's just like, I don't. If you do drop a battery powered radio in the water,
No, battery power, you're fine.
It's plugged into the wall though.
Yeah, into the wall, you'll probably die. Especially because like bathroom circuits are like wired heavier. I think they're like 220s, so that they can run more shit, like a hood fan and a, your water heater and everything like simultaneously. There was like a big thing, the big push that I heard. It was Christina P and Tom and Bert. I don't know whose pod it was one of them, but they were all talking about how Tom went to see a house, and in the master bathroom there was a coffee nook. And then Bert was like, "Oh, I want to get one of those too for me and me and Leanne." And I'm like thinking, yeah, like that's a cool idea and concept, but like, how much coffee are you drinking in the bathroom to be? Like, I bring my cup of coffee into the bathroom once in a while.
There's a coffee nook for a bathroom?
Yeah, it was like they were talking about this. It's a very LA thing. Like, but I'm like thinking also, like, how often
I don't want the
electric devices.
No, not the electricity. I don't want anything where I'm making a food or drink where I'm also releasing food and drink.
Delicious.
I'm not going to say, I've eaten dinner sitting on the toilet, lid down. I'll give you 3 guesses why.
Let me guess. Too many water bottles in the bedroom.
No.
You farted and gambled and lost.
No, you're nowhere near.
I have no idea what.
It's we're crunched for time, and we're trying to give the kid a bath and get everyone to bed by a certain time. And it's just like I'm reheating a plate of ziti, and it's just like he's got to go in the tub now, but I'm hungry now, so like. I lid down. I'm not like defecating while doing it, but I've a handful of times sat on the toilet and ate my fucking dinner, and then my son shat in the tub. And I
saw that.
Yeah, while I'm eating dinner,
nice.
My son shat in the tub.
That looked like a fucking jet stream. It looks like a cloud, dude.
I pulled him out. I wiped him down with like baby wipes and like wrapped him up in a towel. No.
God, kid.
Don't get me started.
I'm not.
And I went out to the kitchen and I was like, I'm finishing my fucking plate before I clean up this pile of sand in the fucking tub. But no, I surveyed friends and family on, if your kid shits in the tub, which is common, the water relaxes their muscles and your butthole's a muscle. So apparently you're just more likely to fucking let one fly in the tub. And I am of the camp, which is the right camp, where if your kid shits in the tub,
drown.
You should make them eat it. Stick their nose in it.
Just rub his face in it. Come on, you gotta learn.
No, I'm of the camp that you have to start the bath over.
Absolutely.
You have to drain. You have to clean. You have to try and scoop the turds out as best you can. Drain. I typically scrub out the tub with like Dawn dish soap and like a new sponge or something. Rinse it all down. Refill. You got to start over.
Yeah.
And I've heard stories from a few different people being like, it was a solid missile, so I just plopped it out real quick and kept on going with the bath. No harm, no foul. And I'm like, they're probably not wrong. Like, if it didn't come in contact with anything, it was just a missile. I've had some missiles where it was just like, boom, one shot with the cup, they're both out of the water. You wouldn't even have known.
A fighting fish.
You wouldn't even, you would not even have known. But I can't.
Yeah.
There was a turd in the water. I have to, just mentally for me, I don't know. And I'm not like a super neat freak or, you know what I mean? Like I'm a filthy scumbag.
But poop kind of is the line, Like it's the line. We're not Gigi Allen.
I'm not
here.
mopping the floor every day. There might be some tomato sauce stains on my white tile, but if I dropped a fucking shit on the floor, I'm going to wipe it up.
Yeah.
Like,
We've had so many people at the restaurant just poop at just like walking in, just shit themselves and then walk out. And there's just a fudgy trail. Someone stepped in it one time and tracked it. So there was like a nice, trail out the door of just fudgy footprints. But one thing you did remind me of though, and I actually want to put this on here so that Jay can remember to use it because it is a funny story. I think you can make a bit out of it. When I was a little kid, I wasn't even in the bathtub. I was just naked standing next to the bathtub waiting for it to fill. In our old house, we didn't have a real good water heater, so my mom would heat up a boiling pot of water and then as the bath would run, she'd periodically add hot water in. Makes sense. And also, I was known for peeing and shitting in the tub too. Nobody here is fucking perfect. But I was waiting for the tub, so I'm outside. My dad said it was adorable. I would
How old are you? Probably one or two.
Like 1, 2. I was old
Yeah.
enough to be standing on my own, so like I'm assuming like around 2. But I had flippers, so I'm wearing nothing but flippers and just waiting. And I'm seeing the tub water,
Seeing the
filling.
shark swimming around. You're like,
I was
I'm about to get
getting
laid.
horny. So I'm like getting excited because the bathtub's filling up, and my dad's like sitting there reading a magazine or whatever, waiting for it. But I get so excited, and he notices I go stiff. And he sees a poop coming out of my butt. So my mom had just gotten carpeting in the bathroom, and
Why do people do that?
it was a,
My
it was a
grandparents.
90s thing,
Yeah,
dude. It's
my
a fucking
grandparents had
retarded
carpet in all the bathrooms, and they got it done in the 90s.
It's a
And they
retarded
had it-
90s thing, yeah.
They had it until like 2010, and then they got their bathrooms redone and got tile. But my whole childhood was carpeted
Same.
bathrooms.
The entire over
Why?
the old house was the same thing. My parents got like ripped up old carpet and put new carpet down. So this was the new carpet. And my mom sees that like my dad's doing nothing. So she walks in with the boiling water, puts it down, sees a turd like 3/4 away hanging out of my ass, and just dives. And it just falls right into her hand. And my mom was like, oh, thank God it didn't hit the carpet. Not realizing she just caught shit. And then just turns to my dad and goes, ah! And she catches it and then just throws it into the bath or into the trash can. But yeah, my parents like alley-oop poop out of my ass when I was 2. And
what happened to the boiling water?
it was she just put it down. We had
You're
like
gonna make a joke where like she fucking
put it right in the boiling water, made some fucking fudgy
dumped
stew.
it on you. Pooping on
This'll
your
learn you.
carpet. She fucking started to teach me a lesson. No.
How do you think I got the
fuck.
red eye? She threw the fucking boiling water.
You had
pot.
it coming, dude.
I did.
It's fresh carpet. It's not cheap.
I mean,
I want to dump boiling water on my kid when he smushes his granola bar into my new fucking $3,000 carpet.
yes.
Oh my god.
Should smush him into
We
the
got
carpet.
new when we got our house. We got new couches, and I mean it did need new carpets. Like they had.
It's a reasonable.
They weren't supposed to have cats, the previous renters, but they did, and like the whole downstairs just smelled like cat piss, and like it just
Cats are I mean, she's filthy, but like cats are so. There's a distinct smell if your cat doesn't like living inside or whatever.
yeah, and
it's
like
they
my
pee
me and my
angry.
mom's first cat, it was like never really an issue.
Yeah, Mimi
She
never
was
smelled.
fine.
Yeah,
she never
like
peed.
angry peed. Yeah.
My mom's current cat keeps peeing on the fucking couch. My mom's like steam cleaned it like 100 times. And like she won't stop, and she's like, "I'm about to like get rid of this cat." Like I
Making
don't
an
know.
outside cat.
I don't. I was like, I don't know. Like I don't know. It was a stray cat. I'm like, just bring it back, like to the fucking the
Return
dumpster you found it
Return
at.
to sender. Just
Yeah,
throw it
dude.
out in the marsh.
Yeah, I don't. Apparently, it's correlating when the back door's not left open, so the cat can't go outside, so it gets pissed and just like drops a fat fucking stinky piss.
Well, fucking Senko used to pee on the fucking light socket every time he'd go into the hallway and make eye contact with me and like look back over his shoulder.
Is there
lift his leg.
nothing more infuriating?
Oh, dude, I was like, if I had a gun, I would shoot you right now. You,
God.
you fat little faggot.
Rocky was a pain in the ass, but he tried to once when he first got him the first night. He went to like mark pee on a fucking case of water bottles, and I was like, oh, what the fuck? And like he never peed or pooped in the house, like to a fault. Like he would hold it for like 2 days, like just like a sicko.
Yeah.
Which like I
She
guess
knows
like
that.
yeah, but like then there's other dogs who it's like you're gone for 3 hours and they just drop a fucking bomb on the floor. It's
Yeah.
like, I want to fucking murder you right now.
There's I forget who. I want to say it was this kid Sean that I went to college with, but they had like a pit bull, and the pit bull would like if they didn't have all of the correct pillows and sheets and everything on their bed, it would piss shit and then hide both of them on his comforter and like drag the pillows through it and everything, and then like he would come home and it's like most of the time dog would be fine, but it's like if there just wasn't one thing in the right place, the dog would get really upset
Fuck
and
that
like
dog.
piss and shit all over his bed. I would go over there once in a while and I'd be like, yo, what's going on? Like, how's your dog doing? He's like, that motherfucker is tied up to the tree outside because I came home, he ate and then shit and then pissed and then ate my fucking pillow. And I was like, oh god, that's horrible, man. You should get rid of that dog. He's like, he's not
You just
bad.
gotta crate him, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't.
He was quite.
That's, it's such a big gamble when you get a fucking any pet. Really, I've had pretty good luck. I'd rather deal with like Rocky was kind of a spaz. She can be kind of spazzy around other dogs.
Absolutely a spaz.
Yeah, but I'd rather deal with that in a sense than dealing with like bathroom issues where my pet is just peeing all over my house.
Yeah.
Like especially my house is majority carpet. Like it's just not a good time.
Yeah, I got lucky with her. She, knock on wood, she hasn't gone in the house once yet.
I thought this was Silva.
Knock on Silva. I'm sorry. It wasn't. It's nobody's there. I know. But yeah. Speaking of pooping in tubs too. When I want to say, I remembered it, but same bathtub too. I pooped in the bathtub while I was bathing unattended, and then just tried to drain it so that, like, I was like, oh, it's like the toilet. I'll just open the drain.
How old were you?
I must have been like 5 or 6, maybe. But like old enough
Trying
to
to hide
know
the evidence.
Oh yeah, it just like there was like a Mr. Hanky sticking out of the drain, clogging it.
You're
My dad's
waffle
like,
stomping.
I know. I just like pulled the drain. Like I guess I didn't realize I shat. Like I might have like known I shat or something. I don't remember what exactly it was, but I just pulled the drain, got up, and got out. And my dad's like, "Y'all done? What the fuck?" Because it's like hanging like vertical out of the fucking drain.
Fucking iceberg.
And he's
dude.
like, yeah.
He's like, took down the Titanic.
And he was just like, I remember being like, I'm crying and wet and still naked. Like, my mom's drying me off.
poop in your cheeks.
And my dad's like, I got this fucking kid just shit in the bathtub again. Like, the toilet's right there. He's explaining to me, like, you can't do that. You got to go in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's like, no, it's fine. I just got to sand it. He's like bleaching the bathtub.
Yeah.
My mom's laughing and it's just pissing him off more.
It's not
infuriating.
it's not getting out of the tub that's the problem. It's just like when you see flecks that you miss going down the drain, and now you're like, yeah, when this backs up at a certain point,
Yep.
there's gonna be tons of poop all over my feet.
Some lettuce poop.
Yeah, dude.
It's always a nasty gamble.
And it's just sometimes they're missiles with him, and sometimes it's just like it looks like sand or like gravel under the water, and I'm just like taking a cup and like scooping through with my bare hands, and then it's dripping everywhere, and I'm going across the bathroom to the toilet, it's like dripping all over the floor, and I'm wiping all that up with like Lysol wipes because it's just poop water all over the floor. But there's I don't really. I was thinking about getting one of those fucking, they go in the bottom of your sink drain where it's like a strainer.
Yeah.
I'm like, I should get one of these for the fucking,
Just a fudgy
for
strainer.
the tub, dude. And
Yeah.
Tina was like, ew. And I'm like, well,
It's not a bad
it's better than me
idea, yeah.
scooping it out with an old Starbucks cup that we don't fucking use anymore. Like, that's not fucking great.
It's fudge
It's
bucks.
literally me just like with like this, and I'm just scooping poop out of a tub. And I'm like, there's got to be a better way to do this. Like,
I got one that I probably shouldn't tell you, but I don't think anybody cares. So this is fucking hilarious. I had to be the pest control the other day at work because one of the waitresses waffle stomped a mouse, and it was flat, and she broke the thing's back, and it was like all twitchy and shit. So I had to be the one to put just like
drop it in the deep fryer.
No, I didn't drop it in I wanted to
Serve it to a customer.
Nah, I wanted to like put it out of its misery, but like there's already so many like hazardous chemicals and shit that's in the dumpster from like keeping it smelling nice that I'm like, it probably is just gonna die in there anyway.
You just chucked it in there.
And then like it
What
proceeded
a
to
bullshit cop out excuse. You should have put that thing out of its misery.
I mean, it was dead. Like it was dead. Like I didn't want to like further stomp on the thing. It was like it's already. I know, but we put about like 2
Aaron
tons.
made me a man by doing that.
We put about 2 tons of garbage on it over the course of a day. So it either like it might be
slow and painful, like stoning.
Yep.
That's good.
Exactly. Well, I'm not the one that stepped on it. I would have just released it outside if I got to it first, but no, the fucking waitress decided to fucking waffle stomp it.
She saw it and was like, ah!
No, she stepped on it without realizing what
Okay.
she stepped on, and then someone's just like, hey, go look over there, and there is just like a pancake with a fucking head with ears, and I'm like, oh man, like, and none of them are gonna pick it up, so I put on gloves, I get the fucking
The guy cooking the food should go pick up the dead rodent. I'm just saying.
It's just like, I mean, yeah, but regardless, that was quite the traumatic experience for all of them. I had no problem with it. I didn't mind handling the mouse. I would have barehanded it if there weren't customers in the restaurant. We were trying to downplay it.
Oh, so it was like near the floor.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
It was like out in the restaurant.
That's not great.
No, it's not. It's like we were lucky that we saw it before any of them did too. And it wasn't.
there
It's
was
like
some expose back in the day on the restaurants in Philly with the rat problems.
oh
It was
yeah,
like
that one on South Street.
Jim's cheesesteaks on South Street, and it was like news cameras.
Joe
and it was,
Chinks.
It was just these like big rats just like running back and forth in the window, and I was like, oh, I go there like 10 times a year. Like
Yeah, it's right now literally TLA. Yeah, 'cause
after
you go
every
after-
concert, me and Stu would hit up Jim's, and after that, I was like, let's go to fucking Tony Luke's.
Yeah.
They probably have rats too. So,
Everywhere in Philly
yeah.
has rats. Like we have rats in Avalon, but like they're more from like other buildings than ours. They just get into our building when it's cold because it's warm, and it's like
What's your opinion on that guy Morgan Shepherd or whatever? Who I think he made Super Size Me, and then he went on to make
Morgan Spurlock.
him too, and he went on to make the he went on to make that documentary about rats.
Never saw that one.
The only reason I know about it is because he was pumping it on Opie and Jim.
Okay.
Right before that went off the
was
rails.
is that the one he made where he like follows the rat terrier guys around New York and they like have the dogs?
He does rats all around the world and just kind of deeply
I've
investigates the rat problem and like.
Where was the neatest rat problem, would you say, or the most interesting facet?
I didn't even see it. I just remember his promo of it and stuff, and it freaked me out so much that I didn't even want to watch it because I was like, I'm just gonna be like skeeved out. They outnumber us by like a lot.
Oh yeah,
it's just like
a couple 100,000 to 1 or something like that.
Insane,
yeah, like
dude.
an insane number.
And there's like rats that are just the size of like cats in the city. And
you ever see a Rat King?
Yeah, Theo Von. I saw him at Hard Rock last summer.
Do you know what that is though?
No, I've heard of it, but I don't think I can picture it off the top of my head.
So rats are one of those weird animals where they're a symbiosis. Like they're like they're closer like
to a beehive or an ant colony.
Yeah. Like they work in unison, and they're actually so smart. And I know there's like a clip of Rogan talking about this where like they'll figure out where good food is, and if there's peril between the good food and like the more older, savvier rats, they'll get their lackey younger rats to go up in front and kind of be like the fodder. So like
it's like the queen bee essentially.
Yeah, but there's like the Rat King is when like a bunch of rats get like linked together. Yep,
that's
like
not
that.
what I pictured.
Yeah,
I was picturing just one beefy fucking rat.
It's like they get stuck like that, and then they move in they have to work together to exist. And it's not really like a king, like a queen bee. Yeah, like that kind of. There's also the one from.
That's the ones I've seen where it's just a big ass rat.
I thought you were going to show the Hey Arnold one where it's the fat guy in the sewers that he has to play chess against.
Yeah,
Hey Arnold fucking slaps. That show's great. It's
the best.
It's on Hulu right now. I've been
an
rewatching.
Episode where they run fucking go karts. That was my favorite.
The Mauve Avenger.
I don't think
We're not combining the two cars' names. And it's like Eugene's like the Mauve Avenger. And it's like I want to kill you, Eugene. I hope you die. I hope you Earnhardt yourself into the fucking wall, you tool.
Watch out for turn 4, stupid.
Can opener, fucking faced idiot.
I don't have Hulu Premium.
It's not on Premium. It's just on.
I'm not watching with ads. I can't. I don't watch TV.
Okay, boomer.
I literally don't watch TV, like except besides the NASCAR races, and I usually end up having to watch them on my phone.
Okay.
But I don't.
You just don't like ads, or like?
It's just like I don't have time. Like most of my free time at night, I just spend rolling blunts in the shed. Like it's not like
man stuff.
Yeah, like I got to go out to my fucking shed and
gotta
take
do
care
some
of business.
business.
Yeah, it's just me rolling 4 blunts, smoking half of one, peeing in water bottles, fucking having a panic attack.
Looking at the bike, being like, I could fix that, and just smoking a blunt.
Never
like,
had
no.
that thought. Yeah,
the rat. I want to talk about Morgan Spurlock. I want to talk about the rats. Like,
I don't know enough. I just didn't know because I know you're a film guy. I didn't know if like he was in your zeitgeist or if you might have seen the movie and we could springboard. But yeah, I never saw it. It just freaked me out how fucking crazy the rat problem is.
Yeah, in New York City. Well, there's a great Bennington story where Ron Bennington said he like just moved to New York City from Florida in like the 70s or something, or from Philly to Florida and then Florida to there or whatever. So he like didn't. He wasn't used to like how chaotic like 1970s, 1980s New York was. And he said he like turned a corner one time in the Lower East Side and he hears gunshots and he's like, yeah, these don't sound like a firefight going on. It just sounds like people shooting guns. And sure enough, he turns the corner and there's 2 uniformed NYC police officers with their service revolvers reloading, and they're like, get the fuck out of here, there's like 1,000 rats in that dumpster. And the other dude just like closes a cylinder and starts firing at this dumpster again. And Bennington's like, whoa, and just like runs away. like yeah, that's about
sounds about right.
I was on the subway one time too in Penn Station with CJ. Shout out CJ, I hope you're doing well. But we were waiting for a train and we looked down on the tracks. It must have been like June or like August or something like that, like hot times. And there was like hundreds of these things, all just like the tracks were alive. It was disgusting. It was the most foul thing. It's why I won't live in New York City. I refuse to go there unless I have to. I don't like New York City for that exact reason. Yeah, it's just squalor.
I've never seen a rat in the city, but it's too much. Even Philly's too
dirty.
It's not the dirtiness, it's just the overall congestion of people. Like, I'm
That too.
so used to just cruising 55 down a back road versus, like, you have to go 0.8 miles. It takes you 2 hours in the city.
You
Like,
gotta take public
fuck
transportation
that,
and rely
dude.
on
Fuck
some
you.
dude that like is just on drugs.
It's just-
like you are.
I think the people who like it are the people who, like, grew up there or whatever. Like, that's what they're familiar with. And, like, a lot of these people come down here and they're like, what the fuck? You live in the middle of the woods. But
One of my favorite things is that meme from Reddit where some guy was like, I don't know if it's an "Am I the asshole," but it's like one of those ones where it's just like a postulation thing, and the guy was like, "Does anybody else get extreme anxiety when they leave cities?" It's like every time
I'm
go
the
into
opposite.
I was like, every time I go into the forest, I start crying because it's so boring and open. I'm like, fuck you, stay in your city then. I like this. I like being able to go out in my backyard and fucking pee without any, or my
Yeah.
front yard rather, just pee like get an audience. But like you can
I
just
have
do
neighbors
shit.
all around me. Joe's just peeing in the driveway.
I
What's
am-
the big deal?
I'm a feral animal.
Yeah. No, I agree.
No, I don't like cities for that.
They
exact
pee
reason.
outside in cities, too.
Yeah, homeless people pooping everywhere.
That's
a
what-
lot of fudgy fellas.
You'd mentioned the kid peeing or something on the playground, and it was when I was a trash man.
You just pee in the park.
Yeah, no, when I was a trash man for Ocean City, handful of times a summer, there would always be a log on one of the slides at the fucking playgrounds, and they would call us, and one of us would have to go pick it up. I'm like, I didn't agree to fucking
I'm sanitation, not poop
not bathroom.
Yeah,
Man, call the fucking bathroom department over here, dude. Like,
Public Works, not us.
well, I was Public Works, but
Anyway.
that's a different department, the bathrooms. But I never had to clean up poop off a slide, but I've heard those calls, or all the time, which way more common was, and I guess it was other lifeguards doing it to like their buddies, being like, oh, he's going to be at 55th Street tomorrow, and they're just
Take a dump on
once
the
a week
lifeguard
we would get a
stand.
call about a fucking stray turd in the lifeguard stand, to the point where they're like, the point where Public Works was like, your guys are cleaning this up now. Like, it's happening all the time. Like, it's got to be a fucking inside thing. We're not cleaning up your lifeguard poop anymore. But
Yeah.
yeah, and we had to pick up fucking roadkill.
Yeah, that's about where I draw the line.
And I didn't love it.
Yeah.
We had these garbage picker things with the little claw on the
gopher
end.
grabbers,
Yeah, and
yeah.
I would like it. The weight would be too much for it, so like the thing's like
Try to put a
bending
whole
and
deer in there.
no, like
Garbage truck.
a heavy seagull or something. You're trying to get a bag on it, and the boss, the way he wanted you to do it is like you flip the bag inside out and put your hands in it, and
Like
then you just
dog
grab
poop-
it,
like
yeah,
dog poop,
and just
kind
pull
of
it in.
double-handed.
And I'm like, I just don't want to feel this like
Seagull.
this. Yeah, it was flattened out. I have pictures on my phone, flattened out rabbits, squirrels.
Nice.
We had like a flat, not the spade shovel, but the other one, the flat shovel to like scrape it off the fucking multiple times a week, making $8 an hour. Go scrape up this thing off 9th Street. Like,
Just
no.
Gladys's Pomeranian.
But I would, like you said, I'd rather do that than a fucking turd. Out of a fucking,
all day. Yeah. I would take that over poop.
Or they would find bodies like once a summer.
Really?
We might talk about that.
Nah, tell me about that.
Came up with Tina like last week. We were talking about something, and like I forget if something happened at the school she worked at. One of the students died or something, and like they had to offer grief counseling. I forget the
Jeez.
specifics, or I might have brought up the grief counseling because I remember when it was the summer before I worked there, but a couple of the guys found some chick who like OD'd or was in the process of ODing.
Oh, fuck.
A couple of my other buddies found a woman that had drowned and then washed up like a week later, and she was like just all bloated and weird looking.
Yeah.
And yeah, the city gives you like 3 months off paid, pays for like counseling if you want it or something. And I don't know, but
Do you remember when that body washed up in Sea Isle? It was that. It must have been like 2000.
someone from Davy Jones' locker.
Davy Jones' locker and just taking a dump on the beach. I don't like when the eyes are rolled back and you're screaming and hollering, and every time my dick is just in the shark, and then the dick's in the water. Joe goes in the water. Shark's in the water. Our shark. My shark. I don't know why I'm doing Quint. I love
You're
Jaws.
freaking me out, dude.
You never seen Jaws?
No, I have.
Oh, that's
you're,
great.
You're good at that.
I love that movie.
Spooky.
I've just one of those movies my dad has seen so many times, and I pointed something out to him that he's never noticed before.
It was inspired by events in New Jersey.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it was a bull shark that swam up the river.
Manahawk River, or something. Manahawk.
Manahawkin, I think.
don't
So
remember.
one of them. But yeah, my dad never noticed in the opening shot, there's this long tracking dolly shot where they're at a campfire. And I forget who. I know Chrissy's the chick that gets eaten, but whoever the guy that Chrissy goats into going skinny dipping. There's this long shot where they're on a dolly and it's like at a campfire and it's going like that. In the background, there's people with a lobster that is like, it's got a claw missing, and they're just like trying to put the claw back on the prop lobster. And my dad's like, how did you notice that? I was like, because I think when you like saw it in theaters, it was easier to see, but then like televisions kind of got shittier, but then they got better, and it's like now you have actual like widescreen, like high definition and shit. He's like, yeah, I never would have picked up on that because I just like,
It's in the background.
yeah, it's like in the background. You probably wouldn't have seen it. It might have been like cropped out or something, even on television. But yeah, notice that.
I enjoy little Easter eggs like that.
Yeah, it's
there's a famous one in The Sopranos where it's like
gun.
the funeral scene, the gun, yes,
like that shitty
the
gun.
gun that Vito held.
And
that
all the
didn't bother me. Like
all the
at first, that
blood's
didn't,
already on the fucking snow.
it didn't even stick out to me. That I like that kill scene.
It was fun.
It was after Tony's mom's funeral. They're all in like the great room or whatever in Tony's house, and the stair tower that goes upstairs is in the background. And like someone's giving a speech, Janice or Christopher or something, and it's a shot of Tony just standing there like in his fucking like straight face, just kind of, yeah, precisely. And someone in the background walks halfway down the stairs and then like walks back up and like disappears from frame, and it's like
A continuity
that's
error?
never been like. It's never been officially addressed by like David Chase or anything. Like was this just like a worker who like flubbed a shot, or like was this like metaphorical, like a fucking ghost? Like there's all these like different conspiracies about it. But I love continuity errors. I love just different flubs and like Easter eggs in movies and shows and stuff like that. Because it's like in my head, I'm like, how the fuck did you miss this? Like you probably watched this a zillion times while you're editing it, and like you just. And then there's probably some times where they saw it, but it was just too much money to go back and like reshoot.
Yeah.
So it was just like, well, we're just gonna fucking.
We're rolling with it.
Most dumbasses aren't gonna notice this. Just the spurgy ones. Like, yeah.
Sopranotism and
Yeah.
Joe-tisms. And yeah, there's like some fun ones in Jaws. There's a lot of good continuity errors too. There's like a gas problem that they have because they're shooting blanks out of the M1 Garand. There's I forget what it is. It's like a specific to that gun problem. But when you have blanks, there's not enough gas that escapes because it takes so when you have a gun, the charging handle is what you pull to cock it, and that loads around. And then as you fire, if it's a semi-automatic gun, the charging handle gets popped back with each round because a small portion of the gas that propels the projectile out of the bullet is redistributed up into the gas chamber, sent
NASCAR
back
or Nazi.
sent back towards the charging handle and and like the bolt and everything, and it recocks the bolt, loads the next round, and blows everything back. But with blanks, there's like nothing pushing; it's just a muzzle burst, so there's nothing behind it for the gas to get captured behind and go up that tube and back into it. So there's a reason when Brody's shooting at the shark. M1 Garand is a fucking semi-auto, but he keeps having to recock, and everybody's like, "What is that? Like, was it supposed to be a different gun?
It's supposed to be like a Lee Enfield.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it just turns out that you can't shoot blanks out of that specific rifle, and that's like something that was like an
Probably
oversight.
mid-shoot, and they're just like,
Yeah, fuck it, we're just
fucking
rolling
keep
with it
cocking
because it was supposed to be Quint's gun or something like that, and he was on the fucking Indianapolis or whatever, or not the Indianapolis, whatever the fucking boat
Gotcha.
that- Yeah, so like it's like supposed to be like a relic. So like I think it was like they just had it, and then we're like, fuck, we didn't think this through, so we're just rolling with it. There was also like Jaws was one of those movies that was so bogged down with production problems because of how much they involved the shark in like the pre-production, and they just didn't work, so they had to like kind of shoot around it, and that made the movie better because it was like out of necessity they had to improv scenes. There's actually a play that's put on by I think it's Roy Scheider's son called it just came out like 2 months ago, but it's about them improving that scene, like where they're all on the boat, like in the dark, and he
Yeah.
gives the speech, and there was like apparently that was not in the script, it's not in the book. There's like a little bit of them having dinner or whatever, but that scene was just like, we got to kill like 30 minutes of this movie, so we are just gonna make something happen. And then it was
when that type of thing works, like it usually works really well.
That-
When
yeah,
guys,
it's like
when actors have that freedom to like kind of improv and like, I mean, it doesn't always hit, but you know,
It worked so fucking well too, and on top of that, it gives Brody's character a little nod that it's never really explained. It's explained in the book that he got into a DUI accident because he's a New York City cop, and they never explain why he's on Amity Island, and despite not like he doesn't like swimming, he doesn't like water. It's like, why are you gonna go fucking live on an island or whatever? He was forced to be there, and they're all comparing scars, and he's got this massive scar on his arm that he just kind of like hides, and it's like, why would he do that if they're comparing scars? And it's like, it turns out that he was in a DUI where he killed a kid, and that was like why he's kind of in hiding or whatever. But it's never really clear if he's in hiding or not, or if he's just like
laying low,
like letting the dealing
change
with
scenery.
Yeah, but it's like there's just stuff in that movie that's like so fucking well fucking shot and just like scripted and everything, and it was like such a broken ass movie that
I probably haven't seen it in 10 years.
Yeah,
I remember like some of the scenes on the boat, like that one you're talking about, but I don't remember any specifics.
Farewell and adieu.
That guy freaked me out.
Quint. Oh yeah, he plays Hitler in the Battle of the Bulge too.
Sweet.
What's his name? Not Roy Scheider.
I heard about him on a podcast this past week about the guy he was based on. It was some guy out of Jersey or something.
Really? I didn't know this.
Where he ended up moving to Hawaii or something like that, but I think he was from Jersey. And he was like a fisherman or a clammer or something like that. And it was kind of like not a great business. And then they had like a shark. They were giving someone a tour, and like a shark attacked the boat, and they pulled on this like fucking 10-foot monster.
Damn.
And this was like in the like, I don't know. Sharks weren't as known about as they are as now or something. I'm thinking like Boardwalk Empire times or something like that.
Okay, so like early 1900s.
Yeah,
19
like when the shark attack shit started first like happening or coming into like media or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm probably butchering this, but basically this guy, he had someone with him, and like they thought it was like a show or something, but it was like this guy was like trying not to have the shark fucking take down his boat in the middle of the ocean or whatever. And they kill the shark, or they bring it up or whatever, and all the people that he had out with him on the tour were like ranting and raving about how cool it was. So he immediately switched over from clamming to
shark fishing,
monster slaying or something. They called it something like that. Yeah, like come fucking kill a monster in the ocean, monster in the sea. Yeah, and then so he charged like $3,600 per person or something like that, and like the 50, like something
Holy
insane.
Shit,
he was like one of those like
insane
submarine expeditions where it's like, let's charge rich people a bunch of money, and
Nice,
he made enough money to like buy a house in Hawaii. So he just like moved to Hawaii and then came back like in the summertime here and like did some tours, banked up some cash, and then went back and forth. But he was apparently like an old military guy, and like the person who made the film never admitted that this is who this guy was based off of, but apparently, according to all accounts, like this is to a T who Quint was based off of.
Nice.
Yeah. Apparently, looks like him, sounds like him, like the whole. It's one of those like weird factoids.
There's one. It's kind of like a fun factoid about Kramer. Kramer from Seinfeld is based off of somebody named Kenny Kramer that used to bother the shit out of Larry David in real life, and would like Larry David like lived across the. I forget if they were actually like roommates or whatever, but he said that the whole pop-in thing that's based on something this guy used to do. Yeah. He's
Yo,
like,
give me a dab right now.
let me fucking get a bump.
I'm just sitting in my underwear.
You're lucky I wasn't spanking it. No, that's fine. Let me get a dab.
Yeah, give me a dab right now.
Come on, heat it up, man. I know you got the timer on. There's
If Joe just bursts into my house, take 3 dabs and leave. I'm
fucking have a panic attack.
Yeah, fucking hang out with me, dude. What the fuck?
I just want to dab. I want to go home. I'm not here to be your friend.
Sucker. I'd be like so excited that you moved back to Jersey. Oh hell yeah, Joe's home.
And then it's like within a week,
culminates to Joe just kicking in my front door, coming upstairs. Give me a dab, faggot. And I'm like,
we're going to AC. No, we're not. I'm going to
playing
AC.
Shell. Like, yeah, every time. I'd be like, I think at one point I was like, dude, you gotta stop doing this.
It's 9:30 in the morning. We're going to Atlanta.
Just call me first or something. Like, I'll fucking give you a dab rig. You're like, no.
I just like I prefer popping in. It's my preferred method.
I
of
hate
entry.
a pop in.
I do too. I have grown to resent them.
Really?
I mean, well, like not so much like that. When I lived in the trailer, that was where I was like, okay, I'm drawing the line of fucking pop-ins. This is annoying because my house was small. My house was like smaller than
nowhere to hide.
Yeah, like so like you're just like I'm just
they
taking
could just walk around the perimeter like knocking on it. It's like he's in there somewhere.
Yeah, there was a guy Steve that died. The guy he would do that. He would
like
go
shit his liver out.
Yeah, he would like come up and like knock for like 30 minutes, and then he's like, "I saw you in there, motherfucker," and I'm like. Come on in, man. Like, yeah, like just like I was sleeping. Like he was like, "No, you weren't. I saw the lights on." I'm like, "God, fucking damn it!"
My buddy Timmy used to do that when we were like 8. He would. for whatever reason, I wouldn't feel like hanging out or something like that. It's just me and my grandparents, and like we're just doing our own thing, like family day or something. It's just like, you know. So he would blow up the landline. It's just like, just wouldn't answer, let it go to the machine or whatever. And then he would come over, knock on like all the 3 entry doors, just like pound on the door because the cars are in the driveway. And he's just like, I know you guys are home. Like, then he would go back home, call a guy on the line, and be like, I saw the cars in the driveway. Like, no one's answering the door. Like, what's going on? And like, just would keep trying until it's just like, my grandma would be like, Tim, like we're doing family day today. Like, thanks, but
the neighbors, not the Brownbacks, but the ones that were next to the Brownbacks. I don't know if you remember my old. Nah, you never were at my old house. So we had where this house is. It was a barn, and it had like 3 garage doors and shit. And one of the garage doors was always open. Which, if you knew us, it wasn't like there was anything valuable in there. It was like a deep freezer and like some shitty wood. Shy, relax.
I know, I'm burping hoagies, dude. Fuck off.
Shy, get down. Come on. Why don't you bring me that toy?
Ow.
Bring me that toy. But yeah, so this kid would figured out which garage door we kept open and would like break in and use some of the scrap wood to just build bicycle ramps in my driveway. And my dad came home one day and he was like, "Yo, like I thought you were supposed to like break these down like and not leave them out." I was like, "I didn't." And he's like, "Okay, that's fucking weird." So then like a couple of days went by, it happened again. Somebody dragged all the fucking scrap wood out so that he could make a fucking ramp. And
in your driveway?
In my driveway, and then just left it all out. And I'm like, all right, we're gonna put a nail in this. So we locked the fucking door, the garage door, for a day, and then 15 fucking voicemails on my fucking and this was like landline, yeah. Dude, what the heck, man? I was trying to come over, and we're like. It was like
so funny when kids like don't understand that boundary.
They don't comprehend that. And yeah, we like caught him a couple of times just like trying to jiggle the lock loose so he could get in. We're like, yo, not happening, dude. What are you doing? He's like, I want to ride my bike on your bike ramp. Like, no, not today, dude. Like, it's not like that.
It's not my fault your parents are poor. Get your own fucking bike ramp.
Pave your own stupid fucking driveway, you dumb shit.
Fucking. And then the other thing, I'm not trying to shit on Timmy. Like, he was fucking...
Fuck you, Timmy.
He was like 7. Like, it was cute.
Fat little shit.
Yeah, he was chubby when he was a kid. We all were.
Yeah, he was a cute little chubby kid. I remember him.
But it would be like legit family day. Like me, my dad, my sisters, whatever, like playing basketball in the driveway or playing hockey or something in the driveway. He would just be riding his bike around the neighborhood. This is like pre-cell phones. None of us had cell phones or anything. And he's just trying to like fish and trying to find someone to hang out with. And he would see us like playing, and he would just take his bike and like ride in circles in the street, like in front of the house, being like waiting for us to like invite him over to play.
Yes.
And then like after like 10 minutes, he would like storm off in a huff and like, didn't fucking invite me.
Yeah.
So, and then sometime eventually my dad was like, Tim, like we're just doing like family day today. Like, sorry, like no hard feelings, man. But like,
yeah.
And as we got older, it was just like, come on over, you fuck. But
there was a kid that lived in my friend Vinny's neighborhood. It was this neighbor who threatened to call the cops on me constantly because he just didn't like me. I was just like a chubby little fuck, and he was a little bit older. And I was like better. I wasn't like a gifted kid when it came to sports, but I was like decent at sports for a chubby little. Like I kind of was like a sleeper.
You're ever shooting your weight class? That's how kind of I was. Yeah. I was like surprisingly athletic for a fat kid.
Exactly. And this kid would always want to play roller hockey or just like street hockey in their cul-de-sac. And when I would get invited over, the kid would be like peeking out of a fucking window because he didn't want to fucking be like, if I was there, he's not going to play. But there was a couple of times we figured out where like we could get like a big like 5-on-5 game going in the cul-de-sac. Hey, knock it off. Cheyenne, come here.
Belly down.
Come here.
Belly down. I was putting my water bottle in the bag. Relax.
Stupid. But yeah, we would get like a 5-on-5 game going, and the only way that would be like he would have to call his friends and everything, so they would set it up, and he'd be like, Joe's not there, right? And then sure enough, I would just take a walk around the block and then come out and be like, oh, the game's on. I got my stick with me. Let's fucking play. And he's like,
the politics of being a fucking suburban kid.
This kid was just like, fuck, like every fucking time.
Why didn't he want to play with you?
Because I was better than like he was someone that was like a similar weight and size to me at this age, but he was older than me, and he didn't like that like I was younger and I could like fucking like lift the ball and like put it between his legs and everything, and then like dunk on the goalie and shit.
All right, like, I don't believe the story anymore.
I was decent.
Joe's a fucking dust bunny.
This was with the ball, man. This wasn't a fucking puck. Like with the puck, I might as well be trying to speak Greek.
Don't blame the fucking equipment,
bro. Yeah, I'm blaming the equipment
here.
Listen. I was slightly better than this kid, and it annoyed him. So this one time he slashed my stick and really fucking slashed it out of my hands. So it was retaliation. I slashed him back and I broke his stick. He goes, I'm calling the cops on you. And we're like, for what? And he's like, destruction of property. We're like, that's not a thing. We're playing hockey. If I went over and I like broke your fucking stick over my knee, that would be one thing.
The most heated
your fucking Milek bullshit fucking plastic tip stick.
True value hardware.
Yeah, that you got from fucking Ace. Like you're not winning this battle, buddy. So he would never he always fucking hated that. But yeah, same thing. If I was around, the boys were buzzing. He was like always looking out of a fucking window, waiting for me to show up, so that he knew not doing that today. It was great. I loved it. I love
good times.
I like
the politicking of being a fucking 10-year-old neighborhood rat.
Hell yeah! I'm gonna take a leak. Oh, yeah. You gonna take one too?
If you take one, be sure to put one back.
You gonna
go first?
No, you go first.
No, you go first.
Okay, fine. You want to rock?
I'll talk about
NASCAR.
I'll talk about the race.
Sorry, get back. Get out of there.
I think we've gotten together since Kansas. Yeah, Larson won. This week was Darlington. Bad Brad got it done. First win in 110 races.
Playing poker?
Career win number 36 for Brad Keselowski. Yeah, I really like this race. To me, Darlington, it's a very unique track. Obviously, it's really narrow. They're still running about 180 into the corners. It's a 1.3 mile track, kind of this weird intermediate size, I suppose. It's a very historic track. I don't say track as much as Joe says circuit, but it's like a driver's track. Like, people don't really luck into wins here, per Dale Jr. So anyway, it had this kind of these points in the middle of the race where I guess a lot of NASCAR races have this, where it just kind of spreads out a bit, and I had mixed feelings. Like, I had watched the Xfinity race before I rewatched Truck Race. Truck Race was awesome. I didn't think I'd be stoked on Ross Chastain winning a truck race, but then to see how excited he was afterwards was pretty cool. But then Justin Allgaier just absolutely dominated the Xfinity race, and it seemed like this track had this ability to kind of spread out during the middle of the race, which, like I said, can happen at any track really. But I was like kind of on the fence about Darlington. I'm like, I don't know, kind of hard to pass, blah blah blah. But man, the Cup race was absolutely fucking electric. Usually it's the opposite. Lately, the trend has been where the Xfinity race is a fucking barn burner, and then I'm kind of iffy on the Cup race. But Tyler Reddick and Brad Keselowski just side by side for like 5 fucking laps off that one of the last restarts with like 30 to go. Both absolutely going for it. Chris Buescher fucking trying to push his boss to the win. Ended up having to pass them all on the apron. Just absolute chaos. Reddick dumps Chris Buescher trying to fucking pull a slide job with 10 to go. And Bad Brad squeaks through from third and holds on to it to the fucking rest of the way. Holds off a charging Ty Gibbs, who was gaining like 0.3 of a second per lap on him. But
he looks like he's 11 years old.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of his.
I don't like his face. I don't like or his race.
He's
style.
A douche. Yeah.
He looks like somebody that got bullied in high school or middle school, or probably.
Brad Keselowski's one of these guys where he's an owner of the team that he drives for, which is not very common in NASCAR anymore. It used to be, but he is the third owner of Roush Fenway Keselowski. Now, Jack Roush is a famous motorsports team owner for decades and decades. Fenway is the family that owns Fenway Park, and then they added on Brad Keselowski. Now, Keselowski had a great career, 35 wins at Penske Racing or whatever it's called. Fucking, you see the Penske trucks around. He's in IndyCar, he's in NASCAR, he's one of the biggest motorsports. Roger Penske, one of the biggest motorsports dudes in the world. He has a promising career there. He wins the championship there in 2012, and then he leaves later in his career to start his own thing. And Roush, the team he joined was kind of like a cellar dweller, and he was like, I'm going to jump ship, become part owner of this. I'm going to guarantee myself a job for as long as I want because I own the fucking car, and I'm going to turn this ship around. I'm going to fucking get these. They used to be a dynasty, and they kind of were just in the fucking tank. Like, they sucked. So, goes into this fucking struggling team, kind of, struggles for a few years, has some speed last year, doesn't get a win, and then comes out this year, gets the first win in 110 races, 3 seasons. I was pulling for him. I was not really watching NASCAR during his heyday. He, like I said, he won the championship 2012. He was kind of in that 2010 to 2020 era where I was not watching at all. So I don't have any good or bad feelings towards the guy, but it's one of those, not an underdog, but like he kind of
It's been a
turned
while.
himself into an underdog by proxy by leaving. It's like, Brady leaving the Pats to go to the Bucks and try and win with
a
a worse team.
championship. Yeah.
Like it's just like he left a dynasty to go do his own thing, and now he finally got his first taste of success there. Very very
Congratulations.
long-winded, but I was happy. He started tearing up in the interview afterwards. I love the emotion after. I never want to see a guy win a NASCAR race and they're just kind of like, which it happens where they're just kind of going through the motions. They have a lot of wins. It's just not. It loses that whatever you call it, that fucking pizzazz or that. Not luster or whatever the fuck, but I'm sure it's like anything. Like if you win 50 times, it's kind of you're not going to have that same emotion you had when you won your first race.
He's
but it's
acting like way like he's been there, yeah, or not.
yeah,
or
like they're
has
acting.
last year.
I don't like when they're acting like too much. Like we had a great run. That was just a great team. Thanks to my
wanna
guys.
see you freaking
I want
out.
to see them like fucking
I wanna
going
see
nuts
you-
and
did
throwing
Ross
shit.
smash a
He was like
fucking
waving an
watermelon?
American flag and fucking
Did
going
he
nuts.
throw a watermelon? That's all I wanna
Ross
know.
did on the truck
okay,
race.
That's all
He
I
won the
care
truck
about.
race.
Yeah.
I spoiled that one by accident going on social media before I watched the DVR, and someone on Twitter posted like, "It's a bad night to be a watermelon." I'm like, well, fucking Ross won the goddamn truck race.
I was gonna say either that or bubble wine.
Oof. Yeah, Darlington was awesome. Like I was on the fence about it because, I mean, this is my issue. I fell asleep halfway through the Cup race just because it was, how in the middle of races it kind of just gets kind of spread out and there's not much going on. It's just a long green flag run, just kind of becomes hypnotizing. I fucking dozed off on the couch for a while.
Highway hypnosis.
I missed Blaney's wreck. Fucking Willie B sent him 3 wide in the corner, ruined Truex and Blaney's day. I hate Willie B. I like Truex and Blaney, so that was kind of a. And then Blaney was like, "I'm going to kill both those motherfuckers" on the radio. And then he got out of the car and he was like, it was just a racing deal. I'm not very happy, but in the car he's like, "Fuck!" I love hearing the in-car audio. Like,
I
I'm
like that
shocked that they let fans listen to that.
They
but,
let the like not the swears, but like they bleep it and like write it out or whatever. But they'll be like, "Oh, we're gonna go. This is a look inside Ross Chastain's car," and then it's like a little quote from him. Yeah, it's just like these fucking monkeys. Yeah. It's great. I like that aspect of it.
it's pretty cool.
They were I don't know what he exactly said because the guy's Cuban. I don't really know what that is. But the other day, Mundo Sosa, I think it was, hit. He got the post game interview. I think he like hit a home run or something like that. So
They
he
hit
got
the baseball.
he hit the baseball over the fence, and I'm gonna run around the
Shake a
bases.
noggin.
I'm gonna sit in the Philly Fanatic seat. But yeah, he got interviewed, and they have a translator, and the translator comes out. But once in a while, like there's the one dude, Rojas. He occasionally will speak English, or like him and Marsh are boys. So whenever he goes into the dugout, Marsh picks Rojas up, and they start yelling at each other like ah! It's like hilarious. He's like
fun.
a big white guy with a beard that looks like a fucking Viking, and this like small, very not Vietnamese. What am I trying to say here? Very South American Latino. Just the two of them together is adorable. It's very fun. But yeah, I think it was not Rojas, Sosa. He said something in Spanish to his translator, and then him and the translator started cracking up. So clearly, it was like he said something
very inappropriate.
Yeah, like "chupa mi verga" or something super. But like they let the Spanish fly, and like I'm sure that
Someone picked up on it.
yeah, I'm sure like all the Latin Americans that are watching are just like they let that one go. But yeah, I don't know. Shit like that makes me happy. I like hearing
They let some F-bombs slip through after the race. There was a skirmish on pit road. Like I said,
Drama.
10 to go. Chris Buescher's in the lead. Tyler Reddick's behind him. Reddick's locked into the playoffs, has a win this season. Chris Buescher doesn't.
What about my boy?
Reddick, no, not yet.
Fucking.
You're in no danger. Fucking Reddick tries to dive bomb him in the corner, fucks up, gets loose, takes them both into the wall. They both get flat tires, ruin their fucking day. And Buescher went up to Reddick on pit road afterwards and was like, gave him a shove and was like, "What the fuck was that?" And then Reddick's like, "I fucked up, man. I'm so sorry. Like, I fucked up." And like, this was live. And then Mike Joy's like, "Oh, sorry about the foul language there, folks. What he said was that he messed up and that he was sorry." he owned it. He was like, "I fucked up, man. Like, I wasn't trying to wreck your car. Like," he's like, "I got loose. I didn't mean to get into you. Like, I fucked up, man. I'm really sorry." And like, What Tyler Reddick said there was that he messed up. He just kept saying messed up. I'm like, no, he said fucked up. Like,
Yeah, there's that basketball league, or not like not the slam ball, not with the trampolines, but there was like one that was similar to that, but it was like more of just a basketball league that was on Spike TV. It was like 3-on-3, and I think the rules were different or something like
it's like
that.
celebrity ball or something. Where they had like Iverson playing in it or
Yeah,
something.
but there
weird
was
thing.
like there's like no namers in it too. But I remember there being like someone who was like, you know, Dennis Rodman, for just argument's sake or something, like someone that was very recognizable even for someone like me. And the guy that he was like one-on-one against just kept giving him the finger in his face. And it goes, it looks like Mr. Rodman's getting some sign language in front of him right there. It's like clearly just this white kid just giving him the
Dale
finger.
Senior used to do that a lot.
Do I
where
flip the bird when he was
someone
on?
would get rough with him or pass him or something like that, rattle his cage, and they'd show it on the broadcast and be like, oh, Dale's telling him he's number one. It's just Dale fucking middle finger out the window as the guy's going by.
That's fantastic.
Dale's giving him his number one salute. Like, he was just known for just like throwing people the bird when he was pissed off. But yeah, Darlington, I don't think you watched, but
No, I was at
it's one of
work.
these interesting tracks where, you know how like the turns are just wide as fuck on the most of the tracks. This one, the corners are like a 2-lane highway on the parkway. Like, it's just,
It's tight.
it's tight, and it's, you know, it's one of the oldest tracks on the schedule. Like, it's like historic. So, you know, they're racing like fucking Model A's here, not
Reject
not-
modernity, embrace tradition.
It's cool. It's
Yeah.
cool, and I don't know. I was on the fence about it, and then it absolutely delivered at the end of the Cup race. And then there was a fan. There was like almost a fight on pit road, and then Brad's doing his fucking burnout with an American flag hanging out the window, and they're
Fuck
playing
yeah.
like "We Are the Champions" or some fucking, not that, they're playing some like electric guitar solo or something over the loudspeakers. Like, it was bald eagle as fuck. And there's some drunk redneck dude in a high vis like t-shirt, like he probably does paving for a living.
the guy that climbed-
He's standing on top of the catch fence, like fucking like inches away from dying. Like,
Yeah.
if you're dropping like 30 feet.
It's like a sheer drop to pavement
Yeah,
too. Like,
like-
you're gonna splat
and
and
it's
roll.
sketchy and not sturdy. Like, it's
Yeah.
like, dude, fuck yeah, dude. I had a lot of fun with that one. So we can put a bow on the NASCAR segment. Shout out to Brad Keselowski for getting his first win in 110 races. Justin Allgaier getting his first win of the season on the Xfinity race. It was a dominant performance. I can't knock it, but as a race fan, it gets a little boring when someone leads 98% of the laps, and it's just like, it was a runaway. It was nothing to write home about. And then the truck race was pretty exciting. Ross Chastain stole one. I think he only led the last lap of the race or something like that. And he's a Cup guy, so you think that's like going down to the East Coast League and winning. And it's just like, I didn't think he would be like that excited, but he's only got like 2 or 3 Cup wins. Like, he's still, every win means a lot to him. Right. So he was like,
He's enjoying
very
it.
emotional, and it was like the team that gave him his first shot at racing in the Truck Series or something like that. So he was super pumped to get them a win. So like, normally I'm not a super fan of when the Cup guys win races in the minors. I'm just like, let a fucking kid, like, let someone who's in that league or that division win it. But this one didn't bother me because you want to see that excitement. He was super fucking stoked. It wasn't like, you would have thought he won a Cup race. Like, he was fucking over the moon. So
He
you
was
just
halfway
like,
there, or he's in the middle leagues. You know, like, it's still cool.
and he had a pretty good run on Sunday, so I don't know. But I don't think he was in the contention to win it all. But yeah, like, Kyle Busch wins a truck race, and he's just like, yeah, you know, thanks to my team. Like, he's got literally like 87 truck race wins. Like, it doesn't even. But I was.
Bush
I
light or
was,
Bush
I was
heavy.
like bummed because I spoiled it for myself with social media, but then I went back and watched the end of it anyway, and I was like, this is going to be so gay that a Cup guy won. And like, I was pleasantly surprised at how stoked Ross was. So Ross is a cool fucking dude. One of our colleagues. I'm also a race car driver at the Lucky Snake.
Lucky Snake, yeah. We'll see you out there. We're gonna swap some paint with you the next time you come to Atlantic City to the Lucky Snake indoor racetrack. We don't have too many of those in the NASCAR tour.
After they ran NASCAR in like the Atlantic City Boardwalk Hall.
That would be great. I mean, it would be a very boring, slow race. That would be.
It's weird.
I don't think
They run it in. They're not doing it next year, but the LA Coliseum.
Yeah, that was
It's
one
like
of the
the
races.
most insane fucking.
That was one of the
tiny
races
tracks.
I watched when I was still with Sonia, because I would be on the. She would be blathering about absolutely nothing over the phone, and I'd have to fucking have something that, you know, yes dear, yes dear.
I'm watching the Clash.
So yeah, I was watching the Coliseum. I was like, actually, this sport is a little bit more entertaining than I think people give it credit for. But it was purely because that place is fucking nuts. Like, it's nuts to see cars running in there. It's like a football field.
It's a clusterfuck.
Yeah. And it's not very fast
There's
too,
some-
right? Like it gets like tops out like 130ish, like
If that, dude. It's like
Yeah, it's a lot of
Tops
a lot of
130.
brushing or bumping or whatever,
beating and banging.
beating, banging, beating off.
So yeah, very happy with the overall with the Darlington races this weekend, and then this upcoming week we're heading into I'm not, but
Yes, you
they're
are.
heading into North Wilkesboro, a track that's been revived from the dead by Dale Jr. and Speedway Management Inc. or SMI or whatever the fuck the acronym stands for. This was a Cup Series track for decades, and then they kind of just let it go to the wayside in the early 2000s, and then
So there is hope for Atlantic
Dale
City.
Jr. being a sentimental bastard and, got them to make it on iRacing, and it got a little bit of a cult following, and now it's the host of the All-Star race every year. They brought it back to life. They repaved it. They're running like 2 or 3 seconds faster lap times than they were last year.
Nice.
I don't even remember the race at North Wilkesboro last year, but
What state is it in?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Okay.
There's a bunch of tracks that kind of got abandoned. There's Rockingham in North Carolina that's just kind of gone to the wayside.
Is that in Rocky Mount?
I don't know, but yeah, they.
And in Talladega.
The reason they kind of went away from these tracks is because when NASCAR was at its boom and they could get 150 to 200,000 fans on a consistent basis, these stadiums only held 30 to 40,000. So they're just kind of like, fuck that.
We're
We're,
gonna go with
going
the
to
big-
like
the
Las
bigger-
Vegas
yeah.
Motor Speedway. Or you know what I mean? Like they kind of added all these other tracks.
Right.
But now they're kind of circling back around to their roots. North Wilkesboro should be cool. It's not a points paying race. It's just like they're basically, in order to run in this race, you had to have had a win in the last year or something like that. Only a certain amount of drivers are eligible, and then whoever wins $1 million. So
Cool.
makes it kind of exciting. But and then you'll probably like the one 2 weeks from now, not this week but next. It's the Coke 600. It's the longest race of the year. It's at Coca-Cola. You do
It's a really long race.
600 blast.
gonna be just-
Coca-Cola 600. That's like a really historic race. It's at Charlotte Motor Speedway. But yeah, that's all I got for NASCAR.
Fat lines, you know.
And then they're doing some more, which they used to do it, but they're copying basketball. They're calling it the in-season
Yeah, I
tournament.
saw that.
I'm not really a fan of that.
I already don't like the basketball. I don't like the NBA just because it's Chinese fucking interest. They sold out so hard to fucking Chinese interest. But
Well,
NASCAR's
NASCAR's doing that now.
Yeah, it's like the fucking in-season shit is because they just want viewership because it's like you're giving an incentive. Like just make the fucking regular season longer or make the playoffs like a bigger deal or
Or just
something.
make it a culmination like the old style format where like every race mattered because
I-
your points were a total at the end. Like now they do this weird playoff system, but back in the day before they switched to the chase or the playoffs, it just went like you run race 1 through 30 and your points just total up till the end, and then whoever has the most points at the end wins. There was no
I
weird
still
playoff
think-
gimmick winning you're in, none of that shit. So but they used to do this back then where it was called like the Winston No Bowl or something like that. And it's like there was some 5 race thing in the middle of the season where, Winston would pay the winner of this 5 race stretch $1 million. It's not a new thing. I just don't like the terminology in season tournament.
It's gay.
NASCAR's trying like way too hard to be like its stick and ball sport competitors. I don't
Don't-
like the
don't- yeah,
term
don't-
stick and ball sport, but on every NASCAR podcast, that's what they refer to like
well, they don't have
traditional sports.
They don't have like a.
It's always Southern dudes, and they're like, I was into
stick 'em-
racing. I never really played stick and ball sports.
Stick and ball sports.
It's just like,
Well,
it's a
I mean,
fucking
if you think
weird
about
fucking-
it, there's ball bearings and fucking stick shifts. You faggots, like they're dumb, ignorant. Yeah, they're dumb rednecks. Like I'm not taking what you're saying too hard. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
They are.
I'm kidding. But like, well, it's, you
they're
mentioned
trying too hard to like
Yeah.
and one of the Francis, I think it's the one who got like a DUI on pills and got fired from being the chairman of the Francis, the family that started NASCAR, and this was like.
that was the Kennedys.
Nah, it was like Big Bill France started it, and then like his son and the grandson, the third guy down. I think his
Frankie.
Forget his name, Brian. I think he
Francis.
got like hammered and on pills and got like caught driving in Florida. And
Real Andy Reid situation.
fucking removed him from the position, but he's the one who made all of these modern changes to NASCAR, and basically was to mimic like a playoff style format like other sports. And most NASCAR traditionalists are like this. We're not a stick and ball. We're not a regular sport. Like
Yeah,
we're running circuits
We're unique.
here.
Like we're unique. This is fucking good use of circuits. But no, it's a unique thing where it's like I don't want it to be more like other sports to begin with. Like I kind of like that it's its own thing, and I've really this year the first time I've really ever paid attention to it.
Yeah.
And I was very like. I have said that me as a casual, like a filthy, disgusting casual, I think that there shouldn't even be a point system. It should seriously be you win the race, you get to go, and then like at the end, whoever the top, like, I don't know, 20, or how many races they run? 30?
36.
36.
38.
So yeah,
I
every...
think 36 and then 2 like the All-Star race and the Clash don't
So-
pay points, so
yeah,
38.
like no point system. If you place first, whoever has the most first place wins or whatever is going to race first. If you keep finishing notoriously in the back of the pack, then you're going to be in the back of the pack. And then if you wreck out or whatever, that's the variable where it's like, okay, this guy wrecked out like 9 times, but he finished first, so he's going to place like 4th or something like that.
That's kind of how the old style was.
Yeah, I kind of think
And then
that's
they added
more.
all-
Yeah, it makes it too convoluted for someone like me to actually care about an
It used to be
in-season
called
playoff.
like the Lattimore system, where it was just kind of like how you finished. You got a certain amount of points for it, and they just totaled that up. And like the reason they kind of did away with all of that old style and went into like the chase, it was originally called. Now it's called the playoffs. Was because in 2004 or somewhere in there, around there, 03, Matt Kenseth won a championship. He only had 1 win on the season.
Nice.
But he ran top 5, top 10 the whole year, and he had the most points out of anyone. And I don't know. Apparently, people don't like that.
Well,
They call that Mickey Mouse. But now, when someone wins a championship in this format, like a Blaney or a fucking Chase Elliott or someone, they call that Mickey Mouse because they're like, he only won a few times this year, but he won the right race at the end of the year. So
Yeah.
it's just like, I don't know. NASCAR fans are never fucking happy. I just want to see like exciting finishes and like exciting beating and banging. Like
Hell yeah.
I don't really have a dog in the fight. I just root against Hendrick.
I got one, and this isn't my dog in the fight either. I've only got one sports related thing. But if you as a casual, because I know you watch the Phillies occasionally, but have you by any chance seen the thing going on with Oakland, the Oakland A's? Dude, so their fans last year started protesting because the owner is moving them to Vegas. I
didn't know that.
Yeah, the stadium isn't finished.
I knew the
so-
Raiders did.
Yeah, so Oakland, the A's are moving to Vegas next, and they have a stadium, but the stadium's not finished because it's like it's like that place Fashion Show where it's like a semi-permanent like tent fixture or something like that over top of it. So it's like they're not going to be in direct sunlight, so they can play more games like during the day. But like it's like a very elaborate process to make the stadium. So it's taken for goddamn ever. It was supposed to be finished this year. Sure enough, it isn't. So Oakland, like all the fans are pissed because they already lost the Raiders. Now it's like the A's. It's like that's Moneyball, man. Moneyball is based on the Oakland A's, Billy Beane era, and the I forget the other guy's fucking name.
Piazza played for the A's, right?
He did.
Canseco.
Yeah, there was a lot of fucking what was his name? Jeremy and Jason Giambi played on that Moneyball team at the not simultaneously, but on.
I never watched Moneyball, but the trailer always looks intriguing.
It's a very boring movie if you don't like baseball. It would be like when I tried to watch that Tom Cruise movie about race car driving.
Days of Thunder.
Yeah, it's like there's subtlety here that I'm just not picking up on because I have no fucking idea what's happening. But it was like a compelling enough movie.
I didn't finish Days of Thunder
I
either.
didn't finish it either, but
I fell asleep. That's my problem when I try to watch. Like I said, I don't watch shows. Normally, by the time I get something on, I fucking pass out.
yeah, I watched
Smoke
Apocalypse.
a couple of these and
I watched
fucking.
Apocalypse Now, Repo Man, and one other movie last night in their entirety while I was fucking shit faced. It was great. I like don't remember starting.
Drunk movies hit different.
Dude, it's great. It's fucking. I've been like really on that. But anyway, the thing with the Oakland A's is their fans have been protesting. They've been throwing protests where you could buy season tickets for like something like $200 to the Coliseum, and they have like a 40 game package for $99. So people are like, yeah, just pocket change gets you in, and you're getting like good seats. So people will mob the stadium, have a bunch of signs that criticize the owners. So the owner's like, fuck you guys, I don't want this to happen. And he deliberately let the Oakland Coliseum fall into disrepair specifically to deter fans from coming because you have a certain...
It's just going to get destroyed anyway.
Yeah, so if you have... you ever seen Major Leagues?
No.
That rule is real. Where in Major Leagues, if your viewership goes below a certain threshold, like there's only so much attendance, like, and it's over the course of an entire season. It's like if you have less than like, just for arbitrary sake, 5 million seats filled throughout the entire season, which isn't unreasonable.
You don't get part of the revenue sharing or whatever.
You're not no revenue sharing, and you have the right to sell the team, where you can disband the team or the franchise, or disconnect the franchise from the city, whatever it may be, whatever it makes it more fiscally approachable. So they'll have that team. They don't have to fold, but like anyway. Oakland knows this, and the guy's already got his sights set on Vegas. So he's like, yeah, I'm just like going to fucking let the team fucking fail. And the fans are like, no, we're not doing, like, we're going to go. And they keep protesting. So they literally moved the rest of Oakland Athletics baseball season to a different city for the rest of the season, just to fuck the fans over.
Where are they playing?
It's like somewhere else. It's at their minor league facility.
Wow.
Yeah. It's like a significantly smaller
They
stadium.
did what the Coyotes did, fucking playing in
Yeah.
a college barn.
Dude, yeah. The
They're-
Coyotes are, I don't know, are they actually getting more viewership or less viewership?
They're done.
They're donezo? They're not a team anymore?
No, they moved to Utah
I didn't know that.
a couple weeks ago. Or I don't know if they're. I'm pretty sure they played their last. Yeah, because the hockey's still going, but they didn't make the playoffs.
They didn't make
so
the
they
playoffs,
played
yeah.
their last game in Arizona, and they're going to Utah next season.
Oh shit, where they play it at? Salt Lake?
I don't fucking know.
That's
I don't know what. I don't know if I like that, but I don't. I guess like you are. I'm one of those people. I don't really like change. So it's
Yeah,
like
same.
I don't.
I don't think they should have gotten rid of the vet, to be completely honest. I think that the Spectrum was kind of dumpy, but like no, they could have left the vet, they just rehabbed it. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I remember being like astonishingly sad as a fourth grader that the vet got torn down, and like thinking about it, like I went to one game there. Why do I give a shit? But
Well, yeah.
I watched Comcast Sportsnet every day, so they were just big time hyping that up on there. Remember just waking up before school and watching fucking like
Fuck yeah.
Derek Gunn and fucking Michael Larkin and like Al Morganti doing his flyer segment.
Al Morganti and who's it? Coatsy would do
Jonesy
yeah, Jonesy,
and-
all them. Yeah, like they were. I also did you know
Comcast Sportsnet used to rule.
allegedly this is from like inside baseball people, but allegedly the reason they got rid of Coates Corner is because he was drinking too much in there and he would just
Oh,
like
yeah.
fall asleep in the fucking penalty box thing between the two benches.
Yeah, I've heard Coatsy's a bit of a drinker.
Yeah, Bobby Clark too is apparently like a real notorious, like a real mean drunk. He got into an accident in front of Jay's
Yeah,
office once, driving drunk.
I got a picture of Bobby Clark at the Flyer Stadium in like the Cadillac Lounge, which was like this VIP.
Oh, yeah, underneath.
Fucking.
Yeah,
no, it was the one that was like
Oh, it used to be Victor's
club level.
The Victor's Club was the old one. I know they changed it, but the Cadillac Club used to be like the underground.
I've been in there
yeah.
too, but this had changed. It just changed name. It was like they converted the underneath one. Now they owned the club level one as well. So it was like the new Cadillac Lounge or something for season ticket holders or some fucking bullshit. And like me and Timmy were back there with his parents, and we got a picture of Bobby Clark there. But then I was like hammered at the Anchorage when I was like 22, and it was like the young crowd.
Remember me?
What's up, you diabetic freak? No, it was like that time of night where like the young crowd's filtering in at like 9-10 o'clock, and
Yeah,
like
the
he was
olds.
having his last call and like getting ready to fucking scoot over 9th Street and go back home to
Yeah.
fucking Ocean City. And I like tried to get a picture of him there, and I'm just like fat with long hair. I probably stink. I was like, "Hey,
yeah.
Bobby Clark," and he like didn't want to be
No.
seen. He literally just like left. He was like, I like outed him. Like they had him like in the side room at the Anchorage, and like
You just
I was like, "Clark, hey!"
Yo, Bobby.
Got a Flyers hat on. He's
Bobby.
just like, "Fuck this, dude."
get that fat retard away from me.
Literally, dude. I bombed so hard for Bobby Clark.
You're one of my heroes. I'm leaving. I'm gonna go drive drunk. Like, that's
Can I get a to-go cup?
Can I get a
Fucking
fucking
outta here,
roadie, man? This kid's fucking making me uncomfortable.
dude. He did. He left.
It's nice. I met Kurt Schilling in at the Victor's Club back when it was the Victor's Club before it was the Cadillac Club. I met Kurt Schilling there at the bar when I was like 11, and that was pretty cool. That was like it blew my mind. But then my dad could probably tell you who it was. I forget who it was, but apparently there was some noteworthy Philadelphia sports personality in the bathroom, and I don't know if they've renovated the bathroom since then, but the bathroom in there was just two urinals in a stall, and we get back the fuck up. So I was a little kid, and the only urinal I was too short to use, so I like am pulling my pants down and trying to jump, and someone, like some baseball player, some like hockey player, someone is like next to me, and they're like, "Hey kid, you want to switch?" And I was like, "Yeah," and like he cuts it off and then goes behind me and goes to the urinal, and I like hop my way over to the other one.
What a bro.
Everybody is just dying laughing, and they're like, "You know who that was?" I was like, "No." It was like probably like Scott Rowland,
Like
or
Jeremy
something.
Roenick.
Yeah, it might have been JR. I mean, it was definitely like a Philly sports player or whatever. But they were like, "Do you know who that was?" And I was like, "No, I just had to go potty."
I had to go tink tink.
Yeah, and my fifi hurt. I was like really happy too that I didn't like have like a big wet spot on my back too. It's just a little trunk too. I had to use her. Sorry.
We went on, I think I talked about in here, we went on roadies following the Bullies to Toledo. We mentioned Toledo and their barn that looks like a grocery store a few years ago. They don't have a team anymore. They went under in like 2020.
What was
or
their
something.
team name?
They were the Toledo Storm then. They were like the
okay.
Toledo River Rats or something like that as their last iteration, but I think in like 2017 or something they went under. But they had an ECHL team for like 50 fucking years or something. But I think on the last leg from like Reading to home on like the end of this like 10-day fucking road trip, we were like by coincidence behind the players bus that was going back to Atlantic City, and like we had like rented an RV, and so we ended up pulling off at the same rest stop as them, and they were like getting us to like drink out of the Slurpee machine, like stick our mouths under it, and it's like 20 fucking like 22-year-old hockey bros just like, yo, what's up, boys? And they're all giving us knucks. Like, when pro athletes are like cool to you as a kid, that's like the fucking best.
Oh, yeah.
Like they were just treating us like the boys. They're like, we saw you out there this week. Like, thanks for coming out. Blah blah blah. Like, you're my hero, Luke Curtin. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was walking like 10 feet fucking. Hell yeah, dude. That's so sick, dude. Hell yeah, dude. Luke
Curtin.
Fuck yeah.
Who was the guy that was the goalie too?
Scott Sterling was my favorite.
Yeah.
He was a stud.
He was a very nice
he inspired
guy.
me to want to play goalie.
He was a very nice person when I
I
met
think I
him.
only met him like once at like an autograph thing, but I had this big, it's like the size of that fish poster. It was a Kinko's, like, you know how there's trading cards? Well, I had one like blown up
Nice.
that size, and it was like, to Jake, keep on skating, Scott Sterling. I was like, I had
That's
to hang it up in the
amazing.
garage like my
Right
entire
next to where you're gonna
childhood.
hang yourself.
Till like high school, that was hanging up in the garage.
Sorry.
Scott, I want to sunk your dink. I think he played a couple games in the show.
Oh, yeah,
Or at
he
least
did.
the A.
I
I
know-
know he was in the A for sure.
I know Dan
He was
Peters.
fire. He was like,
Dan was an enforcer for the Flyers, and he only made like 2 games. In both games, he started fights that he got his ass kicked.
Kevin Colley was like,
Yeah, Collie.
Tim Mant's idol. Tim rocked number 9 because of Kevin Colley. Like, Colley was the man. He was like the captain. He was
Yeah.
the center. He was a stud. Had the blonde spikes. Like, absolute legend. He made like his second or third start in the NHL for the Islanders, and he like broke his neck or something. Had like a career-ending injury like so early into his NHL career.
We had
Sucks.
We had 2 like my mom was obsessed with Spatafora. He got
He was cool.
Got deported because he fucked a 14-year-old.
Hey.
That's a
James was commenting on me visually cringing about
the Nazi.
Berlinger being a pedo.
Yeah,
and
that was
then-
pretty good.
I just did it. I noticed I did it again.
Yeah.
I didn't know he did that. What was his first name?
I forget, but there's a picture.
He was
of
good.
Yeah, he was a really good player, and then he got sent to.
He was a grinder.
England or Ireland, I can't remember which, and he had the most penalty minutes in the
England has
entire
a
fucking
league.
league. Yeah, he had like by like
Didn't
a
he have like a
hundred.
scruffy beard and like kind of like long hair?
There's a picture of Renee with him around here somewhere. I'll show it to you. Be like, oh yeah, Spads. Like,
Yeah,
but
he was sick.
But yeah, there was also this guy that played very briefly. He played like one season. I want to say it was the first or second season. But during they were auctioning off all the gear that was like left over. Like so, like I got those CCM beater gloves
The
in there.
gloves.
Those are fucking forget who. I think they're Davey Reed's actually. But or Walterson's, one of the 2 of them. But yeah,
Walterson's a cool guy. He stayed local.
there was a guy that was named Sasha Chuchu, SACHATCHUHU, I think was his name. And I have his name placard still, not on a jersey. I just have the name placard because my
Yeah.
dad was like, I remember that guy. That guy was like from like Russia, or Romania, or something. And he's like, he only played with us like 1 season, but I liked him. He was very good. And where he ended up going, I think all the way up to the show, and then kind of like floated in the A. Or a little bit longer than he should have probably, but he was like, yeah, that guy had like real
Made a career
potential.
of it.
Yeah, he had real potential, and my dad always liked him. But he was like,
There's a handful of bullies guys that made it to the NHL. The other guy was Jimmy Hankel.
Henkel, yeah.
He was up.
Well,
He was a
loved him.
stud. Everyone loved him.
Yeah.
And then he played for some team in the AHL in like North Carolina or something. My friend Port had his AHL like North Carolina jersey, and he would wear it to the bullies games and be like, I'm repping for my fucking boy.
dude.
He made it to the next
made it to
level.
the next
dude."
level, doggy.
Yeah, but then like in the playoffs he would get called back down. Like that
yeah.
would be so cool.
That
when the
would be
fucking-
sick when they have the big intros. Like,
I'm
it's
still
like,
so envious that I wasn't there for the chip, but like that's neither here nor there. Fuck you, me mom.
I was
Wouldn't
here.
let me go.
I was.
Everyone was
the
there.
video.
So it got posted recently on Facebook, and I just immediately was hit.
You see
all
my
over
little
again.
fat ass like jumping up
No.
and down, banging on the window. The other one was so my mom liked Hankel, but my mom insulted Hankel really hard to his face one time, which was like fucking hilarious. My mom was notorious like saying one thing and then immediately putting her foot in her mouth. So Henkel had like a doctorate or something like that. Like he was like going pretty far into sports medicine, like while he was playing for the Bullies. And then if I'm not mistaken, he worked for like Atlantic Care and was like,
Yeah.
fuck this, I'm going to go up to New York and do, or maybe Toronto. So he ended up going really far with like sports medicine, but he was like a doctor. Like he was a smart guy. And this one time my mom, like very drunkenly after a game, they were all like wandering around, like because we had VIP, Jay was a sponsor, so like we go back down or whatever. So he's like fresh out of the shower, he's like got his slides on, he's getting ready to like put all his street gear on, and my mom just asked him, she's like, so you like studied like, you know, science and like medicine in college, like what makes you want to play hockey? And he's like, because I love it. And she's like, oh, I didn't realize that this was like your passion. I thought this was just something you did. It's like, no, I'm making $800 a month fucking playing in Atlantic City because I this is what I'm good at. Like, no, I love doing this.
It's not
like,
for the money.
Yeah, it's like they're doing this because they want to get to the show, obviously, but it's like this is his passion. Like this is clearly what he wants to fucking do with his life. And my mom was just like, I never realized athletes were like that. And I'm like, why do you think they're fucking why do you think the minor leagues are just like like people like 35 and fat and out of shape that are like, I still got it. I can always get back, you know.
Correlates back to NASCAR where there's in the fucking Busch League, it's like, or the Busch Series, the Xfinity Series. It's, my bad. There's journeyman guys who are in their mid to late 30s who are still getting after it. They never will probably ever have a shot at Cup, but it's like they're still fucking, you know, living the fucking dream. Like it's, I don't know. I appreciate like the minor league grinders who like make a career out of it.
I
like,
watched the Rookie.
There's no like real glory in it. Yeah. Like there is, like these guys are celebrities. Like especially NASCAR, they probably have a decent amount of fans and stuff. And you're a local celebrity if you're playing for the AC Surf or you're playing for the Bullies and you're doing well. Like you're kind of getting a little notoriety, but it's not the same as being like Patrick Kane or fucking Jeff Gordon. You know,
what's
totally
his fucking FA? Justin Falk was shorter than me, and that annoyed me. I don't know. I was like, I fucking
it annoyed me when I realized Kyle Larson's the same age as me, and I'm like,
damn.
I delivered DoorDash. He has like a NASCAR championship. He's one of the best drivers in the world.
But you both involve cars for your jobs. So
yeah,
that's cool.
I drive for a living.
You're halfway there. He drives for a living.
I wear a Hans device.
You wear the fucking fire suit to deliver fucking Cheetos.
That'd be sick,
dude. I'll get you one. We'll get. Like,
I have the Dale Earnhardt like collared shirt.
No, I want you to
fire
get like
suit,
a fire suit,
driving shoes, helmet.
But no, not the visor helmet, the old school one with the
helmet.
open face.
Hell yeah, dude.
And then have a little mic, and then just,
I'm here with your order.
Asking Tino. Like,
I'm 3 wide coming down your cul-de-sac.
just take the mailbox out.
Pit stop. We got 8 seconds. You better get out here quick. I just change all my tires in their driving. I gotta refuel. I just spill gas everywhere.
Just peeing in your
Do a
gas
burnout and peel out.
That was 19 seconds. What the fuck? Man attached.
Oh man. That could be a fun like Gillian Keefe skit.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, like we should do that with lawnmowers. Like I'm gonna get a riding lawnmower eventually. You're probably gonna get a riding lawnmower eventually. Like I don't know. We definitely should fucking get some.
Did you ever see those clips?
Well, I know there's like tractor pulls and shit. Like I know they do race them.
They soup up
they race
John Deere's and they fucking race them on dirt ovals, and it's gnarly.
I have a horrible. There's a reason I will never buy a John Deere product, and I cannot say it on mic. But holy fucking shit, they're. I literally
You're gonna cut your penis off?
No, just anyway. I'm gonna change the subject, but yeah, like I
have
did not.
A friend who lost these 2 fingers.
Yeah, you mentioned that sued him and like got fucking boku bucks.
Yeah. Not like crazy money, but I think he still gets paid a certain amount per month. Like it might be like $2,000 a month or something until he's like 45 or something like that.
A round of applause because he can't himself.
Oh jeez, nah, he's sick. He could do everything completely normal. So
no, I know you know exactly. What you're talking about. It's
Trace Putos, man, he's sick.
But yeah, like
see him rolling a blunt, he's just like
all right, so
nasty.
I don't have any like expertise on this or whatever, but like the one that always is like, god damn, I want to fucking do that. It would be like if they gave you the accessibility of NASCAR, because it is like you can just go do it, but like you'll get fucked up, you'll get hurt. Do you know what Highlight is? that was like the wicker
Like
basket.
the coolest thing in the 90s.
Dude.
I had like a shirt with like highlight guys
World
on it.
Highlight Associate, and you know that was like Whitey Bulger's thing too. Like he fucking
Mm-hmm.
killed the guy that was trying to like merge the company or whatever, sell the company, something like that. But yeah, dude, those guys can throw the ball like I think it's like 140 miles per hour with one of those things.
No interest in participating in that.
But it's
People
like,
die playing that.
Yeah, people get like
Get hit in the throat and die.
They crack ribs and like bleed out internally before they even realize what's happening, and then like continue playing, and they're like, "Ow, my fucking liver
so
hurts."
weird. Like
yeah.
what we consider like the four main sports in the U.S. like baseball, basketball, hockey, football, and
Do you
just
even
like
consider basketball a main sport anymore? Or like, I mean, 'cause-
for sure.
Oh, okay.
For sure. What do you mean?
I'm
saying
so out of the
I'm saying
loop
the
with-
big four, like just the four mainstream sports, not including like motorsports. I'm
Okay.
just saying like.
So like basketball, hockey.
What else would
baseball,
you consider?
football.
Bowling or like
I would say-
poker? Like it's just
No,
like,
I would say bowling before basketball.
no
but
way.
Like, I mean,
Stop.
it's an older sport though.
Don't just stop. The big four. The big four pro leagues: the NFL, NHL, MLB, NBA. NBA is 1,000% one of them. It's I think the second highest rated next to football. So
I mean, I know it gets a lot of publicity because of like the gambling on it now, but like I just
people love basketball.
I just
man.
really like
It's-
I'm so out of touch with like so when I lived in New
I don't
Orleans.
watch it, but
When I lived in New Orleans, I won Pelican tickets while I worked at Raising Cane's and gave them to one of my coworkers because I was like, I don't know, I don't watch, like, what is this? And he's like, that's an
Basketball?
NBA team.
Yeah.
And I'm like, New Orleans has an NBA team? And he's like, what are you talking about? I was like, I know you have the Saints, but like, and then you had that hockey team for a little while.
they
the
were.
fucking
I forget
Royals,
which
think.
team moved to become the Pelicans. It was like the Supersonics, maybe.
Oh,
It used
okay.
to be Seattle, I think.
So-
but that might be the Wildcats and OKC. There's a bunch of new teams where it's
The
like
Hornets, right? The
Charlotte Hornets are still there.
Okay, never mind.
Michael Jordan was the owner, and he just sold out or something. There's a whole bunch of conspiracies about that he had lost a bunch of money gambling and had to like sell his fucking stake.
Well, you know, his dad got killed because of being a degenerate gambler.
Yeah.
It fucking runs in the family.
Pretty cool. Or how much money he punts on NASCAR races.
Millions. Like, you seen the size of his? I was talking to a security guard at Harris the other day. He was like, "That yacht is disgusting. That yacht is like it should not exist. How fucking big his stupid
Really?
yacht is." Oh yeah, he's like that thing.
That's got like the Jordan leopard print shit on it and stuff.
He said like the undercarriage or something, like the paint or something like that is like actual gold paint or something. It's like
I believe it.
or silver paint or some shit like that.
They,
I'm like,
they
we
made
got this bullshit table. Like,
2311, his NASCAR team with Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, and Bubba Wallace are the drivers. They made the shop there in North Carolina, but it's called Airspeed or something. And like the
Daughter of
team,
Jordan.
I listened to a podcast of Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace's spotter is one of the hosts of it, Freddie Kraft. And like they're not allowed to call it a shop. Like when they refer to it, they have to call it Airspeed. Like anyone who works there, anything like that. Like because in NASCAR, it's always like, oh, we're at the shop. Like it's just what you call
Yeah.
the garage where they work on the cars. It's just the shop. Like, and they're like, no, you're not allowed to call it the shop. You have to call it Airspeed.
that's like a
It's
very
so weird.
That's a
Like,
very like LA thing where you're like, or not like LA.
that's some
but-
weird marketing
Yeah,
shit or
it's-
something.
so, like, they make
it's
you-
this massive,
It's-
overly done, like super luxurious facility. Like it's and it's on the side of the highway in Charlotte. It's like this big fucking like
So
looks like an Amazon warehouse or
one
something.
of my stupid bosses that I worked for in New Orleans used to do that, where she refers to things as the proper noun, expecting you to know it, but it's like nobody. I don't live here. Like I'm not from here. I don't know what the name of your stupid band is. But she would always just like refer to like instead of saying I'm going to band practice or my band is going on tour, I'm touring with blah blah blah, and I'm going to hang out with blah blah blah, and it's like I don't know
what
what
would the
you're
names
saying.
be like? Salty lemon and
No,
fucking
it was like
fried fucking penis.
I'll mute. I'll mute it or whatever. But so a
Who is
person.
that?
I was like, "Is
What
that a
is
person?"
that?
And,
Yeah.
and she's like, "No, it's my band." And you should know this by now. I was like, "No, I don't. I have no idea. I have all her CDs still, and I want to throw them in a fucking dumpster." But she sucks. I hate her. Fuck you, Sue. You're a cunt. And there's a reason I.
you mute her band name, but then
Well,
you
'cause-
say her name.
No, her
out
first
loud.
name. Her first name. There was like 6 Sues that worked on that fucking movie. So like, I don't fucking know. But yeah, she was a cunt.
None of which are ever gonna hear this.
Yeah, I mean, she's. What's funny is I looked up their band on Spotify or whatever. We have more religious listens and follows on this bullshit than their band has as a internationally
pretty
touring
tough.
band. You're fucking.
We have horrible
You guys
numbers.
suck. Fuck you. Stop making.
We should do a breakdown.
Go be an old fucking fat cunt that lives in the bay. She told me the most irritating thing too about when they were living there during Hurricane Katrina. And she was like, well, we abandoned our house, but we just decided to leave all of our doors and windows unlocked. And I was like, why? And she's like, well, if somebody was going to loot us, we knew that they needed it more than us.
Oh, fuck
Fuck
off.
you fuck. Like, shut the fuck up. And, like, I hope somebody breaks into your house and murders you because of your dumb hippie philosophy. Like, that's how much I hate this woman.
I don't like people like
She got me
that.
blackballed from the industry because I'm a man. And that's like I don't know. We're
White
like
males are out, but I said we should do a breakdown of our numbers on an episode, but I just pulled up the rough. What
The
you can see,
aggregate.
we have 85 subs and we have lifetime 13,878 views. That doesn't sound good, but like, hey,
people are watching.
we're just hanging out in Joe's fucking upstairs spare room.
My
just
my log cabin. This is
our
my lo-
studio.
log cabin.
You don't want to say that. That's what Chris D'Elia called his studio.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
And he
Stabbing
called his
cabins.
fans my babies.
God damn. The more I learn about him, the more I don't
He's
like.
creepy.
He's funny, but like he's just I don't want to be your
I
he
think
looks
he
wet.
is that funny. Like, I feel like his
material's okay. Like it's not great.
It's obviously he's funny. He's got a huge following, whatever the fuck. But like, he's one of those things where it's just like, I don't know.
Something about you. It's
I
off.
went through a phase where I was a big D'Elia fan. I was listening to his podcast, but it's just like he's not like Seinfeld, but he kind of just has that like repetitive like.
Woo!
What's the deal with this? Like, not the same style, but like that same like
shtick. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
where
get
it's just
what you
like-
mean. It's very formulaic.
Yeah, it gets kind of like repetitive when you
know-
listen to him on his podcast. It's just like very observational, like just like
You know who does
that's
that?
crazy.
You know who does that too? And there's a reason I think chicks like him
And he
so
makes
much.
a weird fucking sound effect.
Schultz.
You're stupid.
Schultz does that too, but I think Schultz is
I
funny.
hate Schultz.
Schultz is funny. In
I fucking
his
hate
po-
Schultz.
his
I don't
podca-
know why.
His podcast sucks, but I like
It's unlistenable.
It's horrible.
It
Like,
is absolute dog shit.
if you're wondering what I say when I say like LA people, he is the epitome. He was like a New Yorker that has just completely started rolling in the LA ilk and is like he's unapologetic about like being an industry.
Is he one of those
person.
ones who moved to Austin? I think. Or
I think he
no?
moved to Austin too, but he's unapologetic about how involved with the industry is, and he's like all the things that Bert like it kind of comes off as charming because he's an idiot. Schultz just like is that guy, but he is that industry guy, and it's like fuck you, dude. Like you were funny.
I don't even
Like,
know what it is. He gives me like douche chills. Like
He called
it's
me
the
Scott
code switch.
Baio.
I think I watched.
Oh yeah, the code switching is big, man. It's
Yeah,
big. He
I
does
watched
that
the Too Lazy
hard.
to Try on him. It's just like
Dude,
I
interviews.
can still enjoy Tom and Bert even after watching the critic
Bart and
videos.
Tim, yeah.
But Too Lazy to Try, I think, ruined Schultz for me. And like then listening to the podcast afterwards. Not that it was listenable before, but it's just like it's garbage.
His
I
crowd
don't-
work was the most.
I liked
un-
Schultz when he was coming up. I think it was during COVID when he was doing those Instagram videos where he'd be like, "Hey, turn your phone sideways," and like Rogan kept fucking shouting it out on his show or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was when he was still like on the way up. Now it like
He's
like,
all the
went
way
to-
up.
it just went to his head or something. I don't even know. I don't even watch his stuff enough to like have a valid opinion. And like, not that I'm doing anything with my life, but like, At
least you're genuine.
He's just like a douche. I don't like
Yeah,
that's.
he's-
I don't have a solid leg to stand on. I'm like, hey, why don't you like Andy Schultz? It's just like I don't fucking like him.
Kind of looks
I just-
douchey. He's
it's
why I
just
don't
a
like
douche.
Dane Cook. For the exact same reason. He just kind of strikes me as like chicks laugh at this because they think he's handsome. Like that's honestly like he's not funny.
He
He's
looks
just.
fucking not.
Oh
handsome
my god!
now.
Well, he's dating like a 18-year-old or 20-year-old or something like that. And he got plastic surgery to try and age match with her, and it just fucked up in both directions.
He looks
like,
creepy.
He looks really bad.
Looks like he got stung by a bee.
But yeah, Schultz was like one of those dudes where like D'Elia was the same way. Schultz is like that. There's a couple of Matt Rife is like that where it's like you're not funny. Chicks just like you because you're handsome, and that's fine. Stefano's handsome, but he's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
He's a really funny, well thought out, like intelligent, like
And
smart.
his
comic.
entire demo isn't just like college age chicks
Yeah.
and like moms.
and it's like all of that is like what really fucking.
when I saw D'Elia in AC, it was like
All chicks.
It was like probably 65-70% chicks.
That
Like,
was what Mike
more
said.
chicks than dudes.
my cousin saw him at Good Nights in Raleigh. And he said it was like probably closer to 80%, if not more,
yeah,
of chicks. It was like
this
Taylor
is like
Swift
probably
show.
at least 70. Like
It's
predominantly chicks,
It's not good. Like I don't know why.
and they're not even like. Not saying chicks can't be comedy fans, but a lot of them they don't know the etiquette, so they're just like woo, like
Yeah.
they're fucking
they're drunk.
shouting out it. Not even just drunk. It's like people who just like, they interact and they talk. Like they're
women that
acting like-
talk to movies.
They're acting
Like,
like
yeah.
this is a conversation. It's
Oh
just
yeah,
like,
that's yeah.
I went to a show with a buddy, and he the whole time. I think I might have.
Shep.
No, it was another friend of a friend of a friend. Shep was there, but it wasn't Shep. This kid was just like,
That's right.
the whole time he was just like answering everything the comic said, like, or like if he wasn't
This is a
answering, he'd be like,
questionnaire.
yeah, this is crazy. Like, he'd be like, ah, man, hate when your wife's being a bitch, and then the kid would be like, yeah, man, me too. Like he was just like answering every single thing the guy said to the point where I was just like, my eye was twitching by the end of it, and like I love the kid. I'd never been to a show like a stand-up show with him before, and I was just like, I want to fucking bite this kid's head off right now.
Verzi got he had chicks talking. It was like the AC Comedy Club, like right after COVID. So like it was like me and 8 other people, and like one of them was like a 4-3 group of chicks. They were just drunk. One of them like drank the candle at one point. Like it was just dumb broad shit. So yeah, like at one point they were just obnoxiously talking. Like and I'm like Verzi was like 20 minutes into his 45-minute set. So he's like, yo, do you guys mind shutting the fuck up? And they're like, we can do whatever we want. We pay the fee. And he just keeps going back to me and going like, I like Joe. Joe's cool. Joe just says hell yeah when I ask him a question. I like Joe. Be more like Joe. And I was like, fuck yeah, Paul.
Hell
Verzi.
yeah.
Like, fuck yeah, dude. You're the man. But like, yeah, he would just ask like a rhetorical question and be like, Joe knows what's up. And I'd be like, hell yeah. He's like, see, he knows. Like
Did he pick on you? Because were you there by
yeah,
yourself?
I was there by myself
Yeah.
wearing my bomber jacket with a shaved head. He's like, what are you going to shoot the place up after? Just kidding. But really.
I went to like 5 shows by myself, and I was always terrified of getting like sat towards the front. I was like, I don't want to fucking.
They knew me by the end, so I saw Verzi and I saw Miss Pat by myself too, and they put me up front for both of those. Miss Pat,
The one in AC?
Yeah, Miss Pat didn't pick on me. She was way more interested in picking on white chicks. She literally asked, "Does anybody here have a crack baby?" And some like Karen goes like, "Woo!" And she's like, "I didn't mean you cunt." Or, like, I didn't mean you cunt. Like it was hilarious, but yeah.
That was some of the best shows
Yeah.
I've ever been to.
You want to do plugs real quick?
No.
All right. Stewart's Handyman Service, 609
338-9427.
HRS Design and Promotion,
Traction Motorsports.
Tommy's 11R. We love you, buddy.
Brandon Shepard, Off-Road Racing.
And Canman, 609-425-3143, or jscroc0 at gmail.com. Thank you for listening. Go fuck yourself. Sorry the dog ruined this one.